Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 51st monthly TWitWoW Q&A. We have got a grand total of 48 questions this month. Oddly enough, none of which are coming from John's pinned tweet. Highly recommend taking advantage of that to those of you that are here that didn't get questions in. Although so far in chat, the 3 people that are here so far have, in fact, gotten their questions in via the Discord, which is another method that you could be using. It's only $3 a month to get into the Discord, and not only then do you get into the Discord, but by becoming a Patreon in any way, shape, or form, even at $1 a month, you get an extra 2 questions every month to ask us, up to 5. That all being said, though, 48 questions. John, tell everyone how you're feeling about our Q&A today.
I'm feeling pumped. It might be the energy that I got through fucking the fuel of food. I had grapes, and I am a slut for grapes, so I'm ready to turn up and answer these fucking questions. So what do we got, Ashton?
Thank you so much to Foster for pointing out that I had the G1 Climax banner up. Let me fix that as quickly as I can. I already made the September Q&A background, so it should be in a real quick split second here. There we go. There's the switch, people. There is the switch. John, you said you were ready?
Let's do it, man.
Hell yeah. 3. Oh my god, I'm counting down like we're watching something. I swear. This channel has broken me.
Your face right now, dude.
You know what, though? 3 is still the right number to mention because we got 3 questions from Hypothesis, which was the first person to ask anything. First up, who in Hollywood would you want to voice Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Shadow if any or all of them are in the next Sonic movie?
God, I'm really not a fan of the Sonic franchise, so I feel so out of my depth here. Is Knuckles the red one?
Knuckles is the echidna, yeah, the red one with all the spikes and the long hair.
Isn't there like a black hedgehog? Like
that's Shadow. That's Shadow.
So Shadow should probably be menacing. Dude, I'm blanking on all. So you and I are both blanking in different ways. Who is the voice of Thanos?
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin should be Shadow.
Wow. That's a lofty casting goal.
Fucking, you know what? Just because I really because I don't care about Sonic and I'm not into the franchise, fuck it. So Josh Brolin for Shadow, Zach Braff for Sonic.
No, Sonic's already Ben Schwartz. We're talking about the current Sonic universe with like the Jim Carrey Mr. Eggman character.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I did Shadow for Josh Brolin. What are the other characters then?
Shadow is the one that you already cast. Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are the other 3.
Tails.
Tails is the squirrel with 2 tails that can spin his tails like a helicopter and fly.
Okay, that's Zach Braff. That's even better anyway. Okay, so Zach Braff for Tails.
Zach Braff is the dude from Scrubs, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Amy. Oh no, I got Amy Winehouse. Hold on.
Amy is the cute pink hedgehog that's like Sonic's girlfriend, I think, at least.
You know what? We'll just do Allison Brie because she's in everything seemingly today.
Damn.
So Allison Brie there, and then who's the last one?
Knuckles, the echidna.
Knuckles, Sonic. I just like to get a visual on him before I match him to a voice. Knuckles.
Don't do that again. I just fucking tore my skin up on my fingers trying to open a goddamn 2-liter of cream soda from my mom.
You know what? Fuck it. Aaron Paul, fucking Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, and Todd from BoJack Horseman. There we go.
I love it. That's hilarious. God, I really need Knuckles to call Sonic a bitch now, please.
Yeah, Hypothesis, whether you realize it or not, I actually gave you a better answer to this question than I thought I would, so I'm just going to take the win here. I'm going to leave the table.
All right, here we go. Let me see if I can come up with something good. Tom Holland is my Tails for sure. That's way too easy to pass up.
Okay.
Let's see. Amy. I feel like I had an idea. Zendaya. Well, fuck, they're already a power couple, right? Tom Holland and Zendaya. There we go. Boom. Perfect.
There you go.
The other 2 are harder because Knuckles is like a badass or at least he's like a try-hard badass. He wants to be a badass. He's the edgelord of the Sonic universe, and then Shadow is like the actual badass. Although they both give off edgelord energy, Shadows is just better at pulling it off, and Knuckles comes off as more of a try-hard.
Right.
So you know what? Because I kind of see Knuckles as more of like a goofball try-hard than like an actual badass, Zach Galifianakis is Knuckles.
Ooh, I like that.
And my Shadow, I fucking love Chiefin casting Idris Elba as Shadow, but I don't want to copy. Shadow. Thing is, it doesn't even have to be like a physical actor. It can just be like a voice actor. So, God, I'm really kind of struggling here to think of names because I'm just so not used to casting voices. I'm more used to casting like physical appearances, and I'm better at that. And this is the exact opposite of that.
Right.
You know what? No, that doesn't work. Because we already kind of know what Shadow's voice sounds like. It's almost like Vegeta-y.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give Chris Sabat any more work. Tempting as that may be. You know, 5 years ago, before we found out about Chris Sabat's bullshit, maybe.
Yeah.
Shit. I really want a good Shadow. How about... man, this is hard. Fuck. Who was your Shadow again? I forget. Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, yeah.
John's just like, give me the person that plays the villain in every superhero movie ever right now.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
This is the first question. The first question. I thought this already does this to us.
Oh, dude, get ready, because there's at least one question that's like, hey, list your 10 favorite of something.
Jesus Christ, again.
I think that's a Mark question, actually.
I knew it. I knew it. The moment you said it was like a list, my mind immediately went to Mark.
Oh, shit. I genuinely don't fucking know. I'm stumped. I don't know. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to copy Chiefin and say Idris Elba. I can't think of anything better right now. And I don't want to keep holding this up. So second question, what non-DC / Marvel superhero would you like to see in a live-action adaptation? What the fuck is not DC and Marvel? Like, what superhero is there that isn't in one of those umbrellas?
Let's see. Well, let's find out. To the internet. Superheroes not DC or Marvel.
Oh, you know what?
apparently Spawn is, and I'd like to see a new Spawn movie.
That's a great answer for you. My answer, though, since it specifically says live action, The Incredibles.
There you go.
I want a live action Incredibles.
Nice.
Third question from HPT. Do you think Test in 2003 might be WWE's best take on toxic masculinity, even if it wasn't their intent?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, because I don't fucking remember 2003.
Yeah, I think that was when, he started being more heelish with Stacy Keibler, and then Scott Steiner came in as a pitcher. They had a whole feud for managerial services. Yeah, Test was a great heel. I'll tell you the shame about Test. I always really liked his work. I think if he was around today, he'd probably get the strap put on him. He'd probably have a WWE title reign.
Dude, he's bigger than Drew. He's bigger than Drew.
Yeah, I feel like Test, in an odd way, despite being in an industry that really values guys like him, I feel like in some ways he might have been a bit ahead of his time. I feel like if he was around today, he definitely would have at least had one world title reign. It's really a shame. He had all the goods. So, at
the very least, he was ahead of his time in the sense that he was a really big guy in an era where everyone was huge, and he was not even the biggest guy in his era.
Yeah, and I think another thing, too, at least in my opinion, watching enough of his matches, I feel like he was a big guy that wasn't clumsy and could actually work, which I think was another asset that he had. But yeah, about this, I definitely think he definitely portrayed that toxic masculinity that's become so much more conventional to talk about now. So, good on him, I guess.
All right, next up, 5 questions from Super Blue. First up, after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, what is Marvel supposed to do about Black Panther 2? Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
I mean, if I'm thinking like a capitalist, right? And I mean, Disney is a fucking corporation. Of course, they're going to play by capitalism and really profit from it. You don't just want to discard a property that you could still maybe turn a profit from. I just think you have a successor kind of Black Panther. I don't know if they ever did that in the comics, though. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. I just, since I'm not familiar with the source material, I would do that. And honestly, not only would I do it, but I've had some colleagues that, you know, are Black and that work, you know, in critical race theory and these types of fields that say, like, the Black Panther movie we wanted was, like, Black Panther, I don't know, like, beating the shit out of Klansmen or some shit. I don't know. I'd kind of go harder with everything going on. I would tap into that. And I don't know how Disney does it when they try and be family friendly. It is Marvel, unless they made an exception and they made, like, I don't know, a rated R Black Panther, which I highly doubt.
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah,
Dude, they even said that they weren't even going to keep Deadpool rated R. Come on now.
Exactly. So, you know, I know, like, oh, that's asking for a lot, but I definitely think you just have a new Black Panther and you kind of do, like, a soft reboot. That's what I think they're going to do, and that's honestly what I think they should do if I'm thinking like capitalism. And even if I'm thinking like me, I don't know. I mean, there are going to be plenty of young Black children that come up that didn't even know who Chadwick Boseman was. Should they be deprived of a symbol like Black Panther? If we believe that symbols matter, right? You know, you keep the symbol alive. How many Spider-Mans are there? That's why they have a multiverse for Spider-Man, because some people like Peter Parker, other people like Miles Morales. So, you know, like, you just kind of tap into those things. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. How do you feel about it?
I have a little bit of a different take, but mostly the same. So here's what I would say. Because here's my sort of overarching view here. Chadwick Boseman is dead, which means that we can't use footage of Chadwick for anything, right? But as far as in-universe goes, T'Challa is who died and who isn't around, not the Black Panther as an idea, right?
Right.
And we've already had it established in the first movie that the Black Panther is something that gets passed down through generations. It's not something that is exclusive to one person, right?
Right.
So my thought is there are two different ways that I think they could go with this. And I like one more than the other, but I'm going to just say them both out loud, and I'm going to let you tell me what you think is better, okay?
Okay.
I think the most likely scenario that I'm not even necessarily as much of a fan of is to have Shuri take over as the Black Panther. And rather than using superhuman strength and, you know, the athleticism and stuff that the herb granted T'Challa and previous Black Panthers, she uses her gadgets to gain this advantage in fights, right?
Right.
So almost like a Batman, or like an not even Iron Man, but really is like a Batman, because Batman isn't about superhero or super powers. Batman's about gadgets. Batman's about, I'm rich, I have a bunch of shit that I can use to, you know, move around faster, hurt people, stun people, that kind of stuff. So basically turn Black Panther into that type of character, where Black Panther now doesn't have superpowers because, is it the heart-shaped herb, I want to say that it was, that they got their power from?
My memory's a bit vague, but I want to say you're right about that.
Yeah, it is. The heart-shaped herb. But remember, Killmonger burned all that shit down.
Right.
So that's not around anymore. So whoever the new Black Panther isn't going to be able to use that for their advantage. Which is why I'm thinking Shuri can use her gadgets. But the other option that I really, really like is to have M'Baku take over that role.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely do think that we need to have strong Black female superheroes, but we already have some on the way. We have Storm, we have Monica Rambeau coming in WandaVision, so there are some on the way, and I don't want little black boys to not have a fucking role model to look up to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they lose T'Challa, they gain M'Baku. I want M'Baku to be the next Black Panther. As cool as Shuri would be as the next Black Panther, I really want it to be M'Baku.
Yeah, I actually really
and we
like
can still
idea.
keep it the same way. We can still have, like, M'Baku could be using Shuri's weapons and stuff. And the other option that I was thinking of, because, like, the first option was you pick a successor for the Black Panther, that's it. The other option that I was thinking of, though, was because we already know that Shuri made multiple Black Panther suits, there could be multiple Black Panthers. You could have Shuri be one. You could have M'Baku be one. You could have, I forget her name. What Lupita Nyong'o's name in the Black Panther cast. I'm just going to look it up. Nakia could be one. Okoye could be one. You could have multiple Black Panthers is my idea. Hell, even Wakabi could be one. I don't know if he would be interested. He was kind of a dick in the last movie and kind of betrayed T'Challa like as soon as somebody else showed up. But that's my whole other option is you could have multiple Black Panthers. Shuri could be one. M'Baku could be one. But at the end of the day, M'Baku is like the one that stands out to me as like this is the dude that should be the next Black Panther.
Awesome. All right. Next question.
All right. Next up. Let's see here. Super Blue second question. Cut a promo on Master Wato and Evil doing the job at Summer Struggle in Jingu. And how did you feel about that show? Well, we didn't watch that show, so we can't really answer the second part, but cut a promo on Master Wato and Evil doing the job. I'll cut a promo on Evil. Fuck Evil. Evil sucks. Evil got pushed way past his fucking talent level. And yeah, doing the job at Summer Struggle is about where he should be.
Yeah, like, I'm not even going to hate on Wato because I actually like what he can do in the ring, and, like, he's just starting out and nowhere near the same position as Evil is. Evil got the fucking world title. And that's why I said on our G1 Climax reactions today, like, he's the Jinder Mahal of New Japan because he had the title, he held it for a month, and now anybody that beats him, New Japan's going to play off like, oh, they just beat, you know, the most recent IWGP Heavyweight Champion, you know, like Zack did. And, you know, like, that's all he's good for is legitimizing other people that can go farther than he did. So, yeah, I wholeheartedly second Ashton's sentiments on Evil. A solid worker, but solid doesn't always entertain me. You know, just because you're good at what you do, that should be the bare minimum. And I know there are some performers that don't even achieve that. But, yeah, Evil's just very boring to me. I can't vibe with him. And him being a world champion, I think was one of the most disastrous decisions that New Japan made in recent memory. But thankfully, they made a quick recovery.
Oh, wow. Chiefin in chat said Master Wato is essentially Blue Yoshihashi. And I'm just thinking, like, yeah, if Yoshihashi could fucking work.
Yeah, I like Master Wato in ring. I'm curious to see him develop, but Evil, I really just do not care for.
Yeah. Third question from Super Blue. How do you feel about Mauro Ranallo's WWE career, and what do you think he'll do now?
I think Mauro, with a voice like his and his talents, definitely has options. He may do more boxing, because I think he's done boxing in the past. He may do more, you know, MMA.
Yep.
I found his WWE career to be very disappointing, and I wouldn't even say it's his fault.
No.
I don't know what it was. Maybe WWE just wasn't accessible to the fact that he does have, you know, bipolar disorder. And you know, like, I think that was another thing cool about him, even though I can't relate to that particular disability, just to have somebody, you know, quote unquote disabled behind the desk. Very cool. And, you know, I don't know why it all fell apart. It's a shame. I really thought Mauro could have been a mainstay for them. Like, that real voice that gets you excited for their programming. It just wasn't meant to happen. But the time we did get with Mauro, I think was very valued and very enjoyable. And I think whatever he does next, it's definitely their gain, without question. Whoever it is, like boxing, MMA, whoever scoops him up, it's definitely their gain for sure.
Ever since I first started seeing like fucking neckbeard Redditor types start talking about how annoying and, you know, hard to enjoy Mauro was, I kind of felt like his numbers were up, because it's like once a portion of the audience turns on you, and especially when it is that loud of a minority of a portion of the audience, it kind of opens up WWE to be a little more liberal with your career and be like, hey, if you don't want to do what we want you to do, we can just drop you and these people will be really happy about it. So it's kind of felt like Mauro was on a short leash for, I'd say, probably 2 years now, maybe 3 years at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's like one of my favorite things about Mauro wasn't even just his voice, it was just his passion. Because, like, to me, you look at Jim Ross and you look at Mauro Ranallo, and if you would switch their voices, Mauro would still be a billion times better as a commentator. Even though JR would then have the better voice, he would have the Mauro Ranallo voice. But Morrow would be a billion times better commentator because he fucking cares. He is into the product. He is invested in the results. He does his research. He learns move names. He learns little nuances from people that kind of explains their character and stuff like that. Morrow is a professional. Morrow is a passionate professional commentator, and Jim Ross is an old fucking carny trying to catch a payday, right?
Yeah.
So
that's essentially how I feel.
Yeah, so yeah, like to me, the best thing about Morrow was always his passion. I love the videos that they would put up showing a video of him reacting to takeovers as he's calling them, where he's like getting up out of his seat, oh my God, like really freaking out. And those were some of the best videos that anything WWE has produced on YouTube in years that wasn't up, down, down related. But yeah, at the same time, as great as I feel like he was as a commentator for his passion, his career in WWE will always be marred with the bullshit that they put him through, between the JBL bullying scandal and not being willing to work with him because of his bipolar disorder, and now him just getting randomly dropped for seemingly no good reason. And again, the reason might very well just be the bipolar disorder, that they didn't know how to handle that. It's really unfortunate that I would argue what could have been the voice of a generation didn't last very long, and for the time that he did last, it was again kind of marred by issues.
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair assessment of his time there for sure.
Fourth question from Super Blue. Why do you hate Harriet the Spy? You didn't explain it in the last Q&A. I guess this is just for me. Let me actually go back and see if Super Blue even intended this to be just for me. Oh yeah, it is just for me. So that was my mistake that I didn't put that in the spreadsheet. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Super Blue, but I think the simplest way for me to put it is that it's just a really mean-spirited movie. Basically, John, have you ever seen Harriet the Spy?
If I have, it's been so long, dude, I couldn't even recall a damn thing.
Okay, so basically it's about this, like, preteen girl. I can't imagine she's older than, like, 11, 12 years old, right? And she has, like, a nanny, kind of, you know, someone that is, like, with her when her parents are at work and stuff like that, named Golly. And Golly, I think, encourages her to be a writer because she said that she wants to be a writer someday. And so because she wants to be a writer, to get her start in writing, she takes notes in a notebook, and she thinks she's a spy because she will like hide behind some fucking crates on a street and just watch people and write down everything that she thinks about everything. So basically, she's not so much a spy as she is a professional judger at this point, because she's just judging people. She's just like, oh, this kid's on a leash, I'd kill myself. Oh, these people are in an argument, I give it 2 weeks before they break up. Oh, like that kind of, and that's the kind of shit that it is too. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's that level of mean-spirited, right?
Right.
As the movie goes on, she has two friends, Sport and Janie, and they're supposedly these like three best friends that like grew up together and shit. And yet at the same time, around the midway point in the movie, she and all of the kids at school, which again, she's really fucking mean in this notebook to pretty much all the other kids in school. Like, there's this one girl that she talks about, oh, she thinks she's better than everyone else because she spent the summer growing boobs. And like, there's this kid the kid in the purple socks or something like that, she literally says in her notebook, if I was his mom, I would wish he was dead.
Wow.
That's what I mean. Like, this movie is straight up mean spirit. And then there's this whole scene where everyone's in a park and they're playing bumper tag, which is basically tag, but you don't just tap somebody, you shove them to the ground. Again, mean-spirited as fuck. And then the one, like the sort of antagonist, the main female villain, who is like this prim, proper, like super posh girl in the school, finds Harriet's notebook. And she starts reading it out loud for everyone to hear, on this bench, and everyone is like surrounding her or crowding around her. And then she, Janie, and Sport walk up, and she's just like, "Give me that back right now!" And she's like, "Oh, I don't think I will." And then I think it's Janie says something first. It's just like, "Give it back, or I'll pound your face into the cement." And then fucking this girl, I don't remember the girl's name, the antagonist, but she's just like, "Oh, Janie, let's see if she has something in here on you." And she does, and it's mean as fuck. And Janie turns on Harriet and walks over to stand with the rest of the kids. And then she keeps going, and Sport's just like, "Just shut up!" And she's like, "Oh, how about you, Sport?" And she turns to it, and it's Harriet making fun of him for being poor and wondering when his dad is gonna get a real job.
Wow, she's the worst protagonist of all time.
Dude, it is awful. And then, like, there's another scene later on in the movie after everyone has turned on Harriet where they think it's this cute little prank idea because it's painting day in class to quote-unquote accidentally, on purpose, dump paint over Harriet's head. And then when she slaps the main villain, it's supposed to be this big cathartic thing because she's the one that dumped the paint over her head. But then she just runs out of school and runs home and dives into the bath in her blue soaked clothes. And then, like, by the end of the movie, everyone makes up and it's all good. Even though she said all these horrible things about her supposed best friends, they end up best friends again by the end of the movie because she says sorry. It's a really bad movie. It is awful.
Does it make me a horrible person that I don't feel bad that she got paint dumped on her?
No.
Yeah, like, I'm like,
Although I will say, I don't know if being insulted, if the proper response to being insulted is like damaging the other person's personal property.
I mean, fair, but like, damn, classist, mean-spirited, fuck Harriet, man.
Yeah, she's awful. So yeah, that's why I don't like Harriet the Spy, because it is just the, like, I think I'm not exaggerating when I say it is the most mean-spirited kids movie I've ever seen in my life. Period.
Dude, it sounds it. Again, I might have seen it. I'm glad I don't remember it. Like, wow.
Yeah, it basically sets out with the goal that to teach kids that telling people exactly what you think, even if it's really mean, is better than being nice.
Yeah, what a horrible lesson.
Yeah. Fifth and final question. It's a very conservative lesson to teach, isn't it? Although even conservatives teach manners, and Harriet ain't got none.
Yeah, conservatives are like, don't put this on us. We have more than enough. We don't need this.
So really, what a libertarian thing to teach.
Yeah.
All right, fifth and final question from Super Blue. Drop a fail bomb on the LA Clippers. Or if you don't have the voice for it anymore, just cut a promo on them.
I don't. Is that basketball? I don't watch basketball.
I don't watch basketball either.
Skip. Next.
He said this was the best shot the Clippers have ever had in making the Western Conference Finals, and they choked. So...
well, some dreams weren't meant to come true, I guess. There.
Basketball better next time, Clippers. Jeez.
Yeah.
You have to shoot the ball into the hoop. Gosh.
God, like, I'm an armchair commentator, and at least I know the point of winning the fucking game. See? Fake it till you make it, Super Blue. There you go.
All right, next up, Kirby Freeman with 5 questions. This is his first month in the Discord. It's good to have you here, Kirby. First question, I know you guys have a strong disdain of Charlotte's character, but do you think there's anything WWE or Charlotte can do to fix the Charlotte character in your eyes?
Really, I think it's 2 simple things for me. I'm not going to belabor this question. I think she just has to really commit to being a heel, because she tries to be that Triple H type heel where it's like, I'll do heelish things, but I'll still incredibly pander. She needs to, like, get her nose to the ground, really committed to being a heel, and get somebody to talk for her. I don't want to go Paul Heyman. I would actually find it fascinating if Zelina Vega branched out and she managed a Charlotte, given that Charlotte's already with Andrade. Just get somebody to talk to her, talk for her, and have her commit to being a heel. Problem solved. I probably still wouldn't like her, but I think it'd be a lot more bearable on television.
See, and I was even going to say relegate her from the main event, because she doesn't need to be on the main event constantly either.
Then I would say 3 things, because I agree with you on that. It should definitely be like a rotation, because then you're helping people at the bottom get to the top when you get back to the top yourself. You know, it's, again, that Al Snow shoot we watched, the very first one, very illuminating, and I agree to them on that. So yeah, 3 things. Have her commit to being a heel, stop trying to pander, stop trying to be a Triple H-esque heel, get somebody to talk for her. I'd find it fascinating if it was Zelina personally. And then I'll absolutely piggyback on Ashton's thing, get her out of the main event scene, get her to do some undercard shit to actually elevate people. So.
Well, and that's the other big thing too, actually, is like teach her how to actually sell.
Yes. Well, I
think that's my biggest problem with her in matches. When she's in like her monster heel mode, she will either not sell or she'll like sell for a quick second and then just like forget to sell. Like she'll sell in the moment, like, ow, you kicked me in the shoulder, that hurt, but it doesn't matter because I'm still at full power and I'll come back at you with a big boot and get you. And like she fucking no-sold Bianca's spear, if I remember correctly, and just like she really, really needs to learn how to sell because like I feel like she wrestles the way that you would expect like a Nia Jax to wrestle with the no selling because Nia actually looks like a monster. Charlotte, all you've got going for you is that you're tall. That's it. You don't look like a monster in any other way. Bianca looks like more of a monster than Charlotte does. Bianca is ripped to shreds and she's tall too. She looks like more of like a monster heel type than Charlotte does, but Charlotte acts like it, whereas Bianca is actually like a pretty decent wrestler.
And I mean, potentially unpopular opinion, because I don't think I'd ever be a fan of Charlotte, but if she would actually learn to sell, and again, adhere to the other things we're talking about, I think she'd be a pretty decent heel, because I've even heard from more, old school minds, I think maybe even Al Snow said this, maybe this is a fucking Cornette talking point, who, I despise Cornette, personally, but I do agree with him on this broken clock and whatnot.
Cornette is
when
the
you're
worst.
Yeah, but then when you're a heel, though, that is so dominant, I think it's so important for heels to know how to sell because you make the babyface look really good when they're getting their ass kicked, and then they're on the come up, and the heel's selling it, and it gets people in the match. So if Charlotte would actually learn how to sell, given how dominant she already is, she'd actually probably be a really solid heel because, oh my God, it's Charlotte. Look at this babyface taking it to her. Could they actually win? Like, that's the thing. I didn't want to go on this whole dissertation about Charlotte, and I don't want it to be invective because I know even Foster was scared. No, I really don't think it's that much to fix Charlotte. But the thing is, what does exist, what needs to be fixed, I think is so fundamental to being a good heel, and I don't think Charlotte has a good grasp of the fundamentals at all.
No.
So.
All right, Kirby Freeman with another question here. Who are your Mount Rushmore of NXT? One for men and one for women. So I already did this in the Discord, believe it or not. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So the original Mount Rushmore was supposed to depict the men who represented America's birth, growth, development, and preservation. So for those sort of ideas and ideals, I'm picking Seth Rollins for the birth, Neville for the growth, Sami Zayn for the development, and then Finn Balor for the preservation. So my four: Rollins, Neville, Zayn, Balor for the men.
Oh God, I really like that. Rollins, Neville, Zayn, Balor. Okay, so I guess we're just doing the men first because I did kind of want to do the women first.
I mean, dude, if you want to do the women first, then I can do the women and then you can do the men. We can switch fire.
Okay, so just be patient with me here because birth, I was going to go with Paige regardless.
I agree. I agree. Paige is perfect for birth.
So then we talk about growth, you said?
Yeah.
I would say Sasha for growth personally.
Yep.
Development.
I'm saying Bayley.
Bailey's reign was really short. I was almost tempted to either say Asuka or Shayna.
Okay, well then I'll just say mine in the meantime. I'm going to agree with you on Paige and Sasha, but then I'm going to say Bayley and Asuka for my other two.
Okay, I'm going to say Asuka, and then what's the final one supposed to represent?
Preservation.
Preservation?
Which is why I went with Asuka for that.
Yeah, preservation would make more sense for Asuka, huh? But development... Damn. I guess development, I would go with Shayna.
Okay.
So, yeah. Paige, Sasha, Shayna, Asuka, Shayna. Okay, yeah. Okay. And then with men, again, it's birth, so I'll co-sign on with you with Seth, since that's logical. I'll say with growth, though, I'm actually going to go Bo Dallas.
Nice.
He was the first really great heel NXT champion to me.
I like that.
And then I'm sorry, just say it again. Is it development and then
preservation?
Development. I almost want to say Kevin Owens for development.
Okay.
and then Preservation. Preservation would be Finn, so I'll agree with that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we both share 2, or really 3, because we both have Asuka too. So you had Paige, Sasha, Asuka, Shayna. I had Paige, Sasha, Bailey, Asuka. You had Seth, Bo, KO, Balor. I had Seth, Neville, Zayn, Balor. So there you go. That works.
Yeah. Foster, is it going to be 4 Cameron Grimes? No! Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. Third question from Kirby Freeman. What female from a movie, TV, cartoon, anime, etc. did you crush on or find oddly attractive when you were younger?
Movie, TV.
I mean, mine's kind of an easy one. Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, Kimberly. It's like, she was my first crush, basically.
Yeah. Poison Ivy from Batman the Animated Series. I know it wouldn't work out for many reasons. Had a weird thing for Thumbelina, that movie. I don't know. Maybe I should have always known that I'd be a bit on the weirder side when I'm like, oh, I'm feeling things. Fuck me, man. Yeah, I already gave 2. I'm not going to go through like each thing, but like those are the 2 big. Oh, and I guess Melina from Mortal Kombat. That was another one. I mean, again, wouldn't work out for so many reasons, but
What, you don't want her eating your soul?
I mean, she'd eat my soul, brother. She'd eat my fucking face. But
shit.
It'd be cool, though. We're all cool. We're all cool.
I guess if I had to pick like a cartoon... let me find her name. Do you remember the Kanker sisters from Ed, Edd n Eddy?
Yes.
I always had a thing for the one with the blue hair. I just don't remember her name.
Dude, same. I think her name was May, because the blonde one was Marie.
Yeah, why can't I find this shit?
Yeah, her name was May, the blue-haired one. I was right. Lee was the red-haired one.
No, May is the blonde, dude. May is the blonde.
I thought Marie was the blonde.
No, Marie, I think, is the one that we're looking for. Yeah, Marie is the...
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
May was the... Oh,
so
wow.
Marie Kanker, I guess we'll go with for the animated one. So we'll leave it at that. Next, fourth and final question. What's one of your most embarrassing moments in your lives that you wish you could make never have happened?
I once accidentally sat in a toilet, like with the seat up, and like my pants were just drenched. It was like elementary school. I hated having to go to the nurse, get a clean pair of pants, explain that to my grandma when I got home. So you see, I didn't really think about it, and I just kind of plunked in there. God, that was humiliating. I'm just glad the toilet was empty. That would have been even worse.
Dude, you got to understand. I was a really fast grower. Like I think I was like 6 foot tall by the time I was in like maybe 7th grade. I was like 5'9", 5'10", just starting middle school. And I was like 6'3", 6'4", starting high school. So I was a really fast grower. And the reason I'm saying all this is because I was a chronic pants ripper at school. I probably ripped my pants 5 or 6 times. But believe it or not, that's not even the moment that I'm going to bring up here. Because like it was embarrassing for sure, but it was never like kill your social life type embarrassing. The one thing for me that I didn't even realize at the time, at the time, I was like completely naive to the fact that people would be pissed at me for this. So I want to say it was 11 years old. So like 6th grade, something happened on a bus. I think somebody threw something at someone as they were exiting a bus, right? And I want to say it was either batteries or packs of Smarties. I don't remember. But it was something like that, like cylindrical and small and hard enough that it would hurt. But apparently the person that they were getting whatever it was thrown at them told on the people that were throwing it. And they ended up calling all the people that go on that bus into an auditorium, right? And the fucking principal of the school was in there waiting to question everyone that was on the bus, and I was the fucking snitch. I was the one that told who the kids were that were throwing the shit. And that to me is like the number one biggest taboo in school is you don't fucking snitch. So that's my biggest, like, I wish I could make that have never happened. Like, I'm okay with all the pants rippings. That was more funny and stupid and like maybe embarrassing in the moment, but like looking back, it's like whatever. But the snitching in front of everyone was like, okay, can I like go back and get a redo, please? Yeah.
Yeah, I think about so much of my school experiences, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be done and to be an adult and to be away from all of the people that I went to school with for the most part. Like, never again. Glad that's over. Next question.
Fifth and final question from Kirby Freeman. Who would win in a death match, Jason or Michael Myers?
I'm surprised they haven't done this movie yet. Personally?
No, yeah, we got Freddy versus Jason, but not Jason versus Michael.
Yeah, I am a huge Michael Myers mark.
You know what? I appreciate your Michael Myers fandom, but I'm picking Jason because he's the one with the machete.
Well, see, I was even going to say, like, me being a Michael Myers mark, I'm pretty, like, familiar with his mythology and stuff like that. I think I'm going to go Jason as well, only because I still think Michael is a man. He's just a man with, like, supernatural strength, and, like, he's possessed by the Curse of Thorn. Whereas Jason's just utterly supernatural because he's like a zombie that was resurrected from the bottom of Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Jason.
Cool. Glad we agree on that. Next set of questions are from Revel Icon, formerly known as Iconic. What are, first question, what are some things from wrestling that don't happen anymore that you miss seeing?
Oh, God. Pile drivers being taken seriously. Apron spots being more devastating. Let's see.
I think for me, it's just like rules.
Yeah,
like
really,
actual rules that need to be followed and that are punished when they're broken. Because like, I fucking love Japanese wrestling and y'all know that, but it is unbelievable the amount of shit that we have seen Japanese wrestlers get away with and not get disqualified for. And I understand why. It's big time because the sort of revival of Japanese wrestling that came with Tanahashi in the mid to late 2000s, with like Tanahashi and Nakamura kind of reviving it from the depths. A lot of that also had to do with the fact that they didn't want to have disqualifications because they noticed that in America, every other match was ending in a DQ or a count out or a fuck finish or what the hell ever. So they wanted to offer a real alternative. They wanted to give you something different. So they basically made a conscious decision not to have disqualifications unless it was absolutely necessary. The problem is it's lasted into today and like it's being taken advantage of in kayfabe by a bunch of heels that really don't have any place getting away with the shit that they're getting away with.
And you know what, too? You know what else I miss? Which I can't say, like, it's not in wrestling today because we just experienced it. I just wish it was more common. I miss really well-written, like, really solid baby faces. Because I know the whole thing is, like, oh, I love heels and Johnny's comeback. But, like, watching Juice's match today tells me that when you have a really good baby face that isn't cheesy and is just very human and just very sincere and relatable, it's an incredible feeling. And I feel like a lot, especially in WWE and stuff, they really don't know how to write baby faces. Normally, the really great baby faces are products of just us standing by them and them doing their own thing.
Well, like, and even historically, dude, even historically, WWE hasn't had a good, genuine, straight-up baby face from the same ilk as Juice Robinson and Kairi Sane since, like, fucking Hogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Brett was a dick, Shawn was a dick, Austin was a dick, Rock was a dick, Cena was a dick. Every heel, or every top face that the WWE has had in the last 25 years, 27 years, somewhere around there, either started out as a dick or remained a dick, even when they were a face.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. Drew even is like kind of a dick sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss, like, quality white meat baby faces that don't feel the need to, like, walk the line just to curry popularity with the fans or push merch or whatever.
Yep.
Like, yeah. It's kind of a shame.
We need a real wrestling version of whatever the Mr. Mason concept was by Podswoggle.
Yeah, really. That'd be freaking great. Do we feel he's officially answered this question? Move on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, I do want to elaborate on my rules thing because it's not just Japanese wrestling; it's also U.S. wrestling. Because, like, to me, maybe it's weird because I fucking hate Jim Cornette. And Al Snow now I find out is a piece of shit too. But at the end of the day, there are some old school wrestling mindsets that I think would really benefit being used today. So for example, closed fist punches. Like in New Japan, closed fist punches are banned and people will get yelled at for using them, but like you can still get away with using them, right? It's like it's kind of a sort of a big deal, but not really that big of a deal anymore because like we see closed fist punches multiple times a year now between Ibushi and hell, even Juice, the left hand of God is a closed fist punch. Like we're starting to see it more and more now in New Japan. WWE, it's been legal for like 12 years, 13 years, something like that now. And it's been technically illegal, but not actually, punished for way longer than that, like probably 25 years at this point. I would love to see things like closed fist punches and eye rakes and low blows and even like when I say low blows, I don't just mean kick to the balls. I also mean like putting your opponent over the rope and shaking it and like inverted atomic drops on guys and stuff like that. And what else? Like grabbing the tights and using your feet on the ropes and stuff. I want to see that stuff get actually punished so that when somebody does it, it's a bigger deal, you know?
Yeah, like, I feel like, in a way, Stardom handles this quite well, because when they see cheating, they won't count the pinfall that was initiated by the cheating.
Yeah, well, that's like, New Japan does that too, especially really just Red Shoes does that, because, like, Marty Asami's a fucking pushover and a half, but Red Shoes specifically won't count stuff after someone's cheated to gain an advantage. But
yeah, I feel like if you can't completely turn back the clock, that's at least a nice, like, palliative step forward to be like, okay, well, we're not just going to let anybody do what they want. We're going to have some coherence here. And yeah, I do like those little things, but I definitely agree with the sentiment of what you're saying for sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, like if I ever ran a wrestling company, it would be presented like Lucha Underground, but the actual in-ring portion would have rules and be presented a little more like New Japan mixed with like 80s America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Next question from Revel Icon is the second question from Revel Icon is create your own Suicide Squad using professional wrestlers only. Up to 7 members if you want. Now he said up to, which means we can have 4 or 5 if we want, but he did also specify currently active wrestlers, so no Rock, no Austin, etc., etc.
T-Bar.
Dude, yes, T-Bar, Mace, and what is it, Slapjack?
Slapjack, yeah.
Yeah, those 3 would work. No, I don't actually want to go there. They're making their own Suicide Squad. We can't just copy WWE. Fuck WWE.
I mean, I still kind of want T-Bar though, but regardless,
you can have T-Bar. I just don't want us to take all 3.
You know what though? Rather than T-Bar, I'll go with somebody else that like would assume for me at least the same function as T-Bar. I'll just go with Brian Cage because he's still a fucking like devastator. So I'll go Cage. I'm trying to think of the original Suicide Squad.
The original, as in like the one that was in like the 2017 movie or whenever it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Katana. Is it Katana? I don't remember what her name is. Is it Katana?
Might be.
Karen Fukuhara's character. Suicide Squad cast. There were a lot. Because there was also the alligator. It is Karen. It is Katana. I was right. Okay, so Harley, Deadshot, Katana. Are we casting Rick Flag, really?
I was gonna say, as far as Deadshot goes, I'm just gonna go with fucking Swerve, so I can feel like the smartest guy in the room, being like, because he used to be Killshot.
Okay, I'm signing on to that 100%. You're not gonna get me off of that.
So Cage and Swerve. Honestly,
I mean, Harley is easy too. Alexa Bliss, right?
Either Alexa Bliss, or if we wanted to be different and really just keep the badassery, we could do Asuka, but as Clown Kana that everybody's been wanting, like in New Japan.
Interesting.
So,
I like that. Do you want to say you can claim Asuka? I'll take Bliss. Does that work?
That works for me.
Okay. Let's see. The fucking fire dude. I forget his name.
Oh fuck.
Diablo. El Diablo.
Well, if it's Spanish, can we do? I'll do fucking Santos Escobar. Fuck it.
Cause he's hot. Cause he's hot.
Yes.
Then you know what, dude? I'm gonna stick with the pun theme and say Flamita.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Next member.
Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang. What was his power again?
I mean, he throws boomerangs. He's fucking Buddy Murphy. He's the only Australian that's relevant right now.
So he's like Sokka if he never got a sword.
Pretty much.
If he's a boomerang, I kind of want to go with a cruiserweight.
Oh. He isn't the boomerang. He throws boomerangs. You're gonna go with Tozawa here or something?
No, because they throw boomerangs and they're not like quick or anything. Let me try and think. You know what? It's random. I don't care. Let's fucking do Kyle O'Reilly because he does a wacky line and that's kind of like, you know, ripping back and then coming right back. So I don't know. Kyle O'Reilly will work for me.
Yeah, I mean it is a rebound move, so that makes sense. How about Killer Croc? I'm gonna go with Big Jordan Omegbehen.
Okay.
Dabakato would work for this too.
I was gonna say Dabakato. Honestly, I was thinking about it, so I'll just go with that. You said.
All right, let's just do one more. Let's just do one more. Let's find someone to play June Moon or Enchantress.
Let me see. Enchantress, Suicide Squad. Oh, interesting. Okay. So wait, this could be like active wrestlers anywhere. It doesn't have to be WWE, right?
Yeah.
I'll just do, looking at some of the photos from the movie, I'll just do Rosemary for this.
Perfect.
It's not exact,
because
but yeah.
I was going to pick Sue Young, so we have the same idea.
All right. Sweet.
Third question from Revel Icon. If you wanted to get someone into wrestling, which non-high profile, underrated matches would you recommend them?
Ospreay, ZSJ from New Beginning, and Sapporo.
This year?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick the promotions that if somebody was completely unfamiliar with wrestling and all that they told me was I want to get into wrestling, where should I start? I'm gonna pick one match from each promotion that I would actually recommend to somebody just getting into wrestling to check out. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So New Japan. I'm gonna say, and he said low profile, high profile. So lower profile. I'm going to say Sho Shingo from the New Japan Cup this year.
I really like that. That's great.
Stardom is really easy. The 4-on-4 QQ versus DDM tag match from like a month or two ago.
Okay.
Because to me, that encapsulates everything amazing about Stardom. Like you've got Azumi doing quick shit and breaking up pins like a mad woman. You've got Momo and Shooty kicking each other's asses. You've got Utami being a powerhouse. You've got Julia and Micah being bad. Like everything that you could want in Stardom is in that match, I feel like. Except for like the cutesy side, which maybe isn't something you would want somebody to get into immediately anyway. Lucha Underground is definitely one that I would say. So for Lucha Underground, I will say I want to pick something, and it's not high profile. And it's not going to be too much of a terrible spoiler. So I'm going to say Prince Puma versus Hernandez from season 1.
That's a great pick.
And then NXT Io Shotzi from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, perfect. I pretty much copy-paste everything you said. I do stand by my New Japan pick. But other than that, yeah, I think you nailed it, actually.
I love that John is just like, oh, the best part about New Japan is these two British guys.
Yeah, dude, believe me, people have made that like same comment. I mean, totally ironically, that they've had complaints about like, so where are the Japanese wrestlers? They're around. Calm down.
Yeah. All right. Next up, fourth question from Revel Icon. If you could be a manager, which 5 wrestlers, where teams count as one, would you love to manage? And what would your gimmick be?
Ooh, okay.
This is like John's dream question. This is perfect for you.
Yeah, I'll go first. Really, I would just kind of be myself, but turned up to 11, like, because
Which is just yourself.
Yeah, really.
You're already able to be turned up to 11 within your natural self.
But I think if I was to give it a little bit of a bent, I would do kind of an intellectual savior thing, but in the way that's like, I'm really smart, I save careers, I rehabilitate careers, I win championships. So I'd be like the strategist type manager. That wouldn't be afraid to, get on the apron and do all the underhanded shit. Because I've thought about managing for a long time. Like, especially when I was a kid, I would think, oh, could I manage? Let's see. Which acts would I love to manage? I'm trying to think about acts that I'm really excited about, like in the undercard. You know what's funny? Me and Cameron Grimes would be like a great pairing because I genuinely adore Cameron Grimes, so I'd be invested about getting him over. And yet his character and my character would be such a contrast because he's all, to the moon and he's definitely got the southern roots, and me, I'm so bookish and like insulated, all this stuff. So Cameron Grimes for one. I'm trying to think about tag teams because I am fond of tag team wrestling. I don't just want to bitch out the tag teams. Oh, you know what I would love? Since this is just like purely a fantasy question, if Monstars ever became a team, I would love to manage that team.
Hell yeah.
Because I'd be like, I'm the brains to their very obvious brawn. So that's to Cameron Grimes and Monstars. I really like how MVP manages, but he's already doing such a great job with the XES, so I don't want to poach any from him. Honestly, as weird as it sounds, I feel like I could pull something good out of Dolph Ziggler. So I'll say Dolph Ziggler, just kind of take a chance and kind of be arrogant and feel like I could work well with anybody. With women, I'm going to say Deonna Purrazzo for women.
Okay.
I think Deonna would be a great catch for me
Nice.
if I was just managing like any wrestler.
Right.
And they said 5. So again, Cameron Grimes, Monstars, Dolph Ziggler, Deonna, and do I want to be bold and pick a New Japan? Actually, no. You know what? MJF. Because he's already thinking about not running alone anymore and like joining a faction. I would give him the connections. He already has Wardlow for the muscle. So MJF and I just talk strategy.
I mean, he has Wardlow for now.
Yeah. So Cameron Grimes, Monstars, Deonna Purrazzo, Dolph Ziggler, MJF for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. What a diverse group.
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
I'm literally gonna go the opposite of everything you just said, though. In the sense, I'm not gonna be playing myself. I'm gonna be playing a character. I'm not gonna be managing a diverse group. I'm gonna be coaching or managing a very homogenous group. And in the sense that I'm not gonna try and say that I'm smarter than anyone. My goal is just to try and platform people, right?
There you go.
So I will be talking for these people, which is the entire point of the faction, right? So my entire gimmick, right, is that I am like the almost think Paul Ellering for AOP. That's pretty much going to be what I do, but without the cringy, like, Babylonian, ridiculous, Bible-style verbosity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would still speak just like a regular, well-spoken person would speak. I'm not trying to be like this dark, brooding, I invented the algorithm kind of shit like that. I'm not going to do anything like that. I am just going to speak clearly and comprehensively and, make sure that I'm understood. But it's going to be a hybrid between that Paul Ellering and the version of Sami Zayn before he returned to the ring where he was managing Cesaro and Nakamura.
Nice.
And my clients are going to be all non-English speakers for that reason, because I'm going to be providing them a voice.
Cool. I like that.
So because she's been so successful in NXT, but I would not want her to go the way of Kairi on the main roster, I will pick up Io happily.
Excellent.
Because she can speak English, but her English isn't as good as Kairi's was, and Kairi never got to talk. And when she finally did get to talk, she did shine, but that was literally in the tail end of her run, and WWE was ready to be done with her, so they just gave her some chances to, sink or swim. And she swam, but they didn't give a fuck, and she was probably done with them anyway. So, whatever. Io is my number 1 draft pick, right?
Right.
Number 2, Andrade.
Excellent.
Vince told him to learn English. Fuck you, Vince. I'll be his English speaker for him.
Yes, 100%.
Number 3, Humberto Carrillo.
Love it.
Because his English is a little shaky. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great, right?
Right.
Number 4, when she finally shows back up, because she's still gonna be under contract with WWE, even if they're letting her work indie dates in Japan now. Sari.
Ooh, I'm really excited about her, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, number 5, our fifth and final sort of draft pick here, is excuse me, sorry about that. I'm just gonna keep it simple though. Gonna kind of stick with what Sami Zayn's doing, even though he can speak for himself. It's better that he doesn't have to, and that's Nakamura.
Excellent.
So, men, we've got Nakamura, Andrade, and Humberto. It's perfect. We've got 2 guys that are kind of burgeoning main event talents that I could easily have one of them with a world title, one of them with an Intercontinental title. And then Humberto can be the fall guy in 3-on-3 matches, but he can also be a tag team partner with either one of the other guys and win tag gold easily with either one of them. I'm assuming it would be Andrade because they speak the same language at least. And then Io and Sari are both, could potentially be singles champions on both brands on the main roster, or they could be tag team champions, or they could be both. They could hold all the gold like Sasha and Bayley just did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's my faction. I am the I hate even quoting CM Punk, but I am the voice of the voiceless in the WWE.
Absolutely.
Fifth and final question from Revel Icon, and here it is. It wasn't even a Mark question. It was a Revel Icon question. What are your top 10 tag team dream matches of all time, and the stipulations for each?
FTR.
Do we want to do? I was going to say, do we want to go back and forth and just list 5 each so we get to 10 total?
Hell yes. I'm going to say FTR versus the Brainbusters, 2 out of 3 falls.
Jesus. Fuck. Fuck, man. You threw me for a loop already. I didn't even think about the possibility of crossing time eras. Shit. Okay. Let me just give me a second now. I feel like my brain short-circuited. American Alpha versus Roppongi 3K ladder match.
American Alpha versus Steiner Brothers 30-minute Iron Man match.
Oh my god. This is way harder for me because I don't give a fuck about tag team wrestling. Do you want to just rattle until I come up with something?
Sure. Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle versus the Hart Foundation. I don't really want to put a step on it. I guess I'll say tag team elimination match. This way we keep it on the wrestling, but it's still...
So like a tornado tag?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be tornado because tornado only means everybody's in at the same time.
Yeah.
That's kind of distinct from elimination. But yeah, we could throw the tornado on there.
Okay.
So I think I've mentioned 3.
Yeah.
So let me think of 2 more.
Dude, if you want to name more than 5, please. I need help. I'm not good at this. I don't know tag teams like
But you know what? I'm going to do it because technically they did become tag champions. Their reign only got cut short because Edge got injured. Edge and Chris Jericho versus, let me think, Ray and Eddie in a ladder match. That I'd put a ladder match on. That'd be fucking sick.
Cool.
Let's see. I'm going to say Young Bucks versus the Hardys, but the Hardys are in their prime. And I guess so are Young Bucks. Is like, I don't know if Young Bucks are still solid now, but if anybody thinks that they were better before, just think of your best version of the Young Bucks versus the best version of the Hardys, and I'd put TLC on that.
Hang on a sec. Something's coming to me. Just give me a second to think without saying something else. Because I've got 3 teams, and I know what my stip is. I just need to remember what the 4th team needs to be. So it's going to be... Okay, here it is. I found it. It's going to be FTR versus... Oh, well, FTR is the Revival. Versus American Alpha versus Team DIY versus the Young Bucks in a 4-way tag team, tornado tag team elimination match.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to say in a Falls Count Anywhere match, Beer Money versus Los Guerreros.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Okay.
Motor City Machine Guns versus Roppongi 3K.
Excellent. How many tag matches is that?
We're up to 8. We're up to 8.
Oh, wow. Good. 2
Or
more.
no,
then.
actually, I forgot to count your beer money suggestion, so that's actually 9. So we're up to 9. So if you want to list one more, go for it.
Unless you beat me to it, man, because I'm just trying to think here.
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
Monstars is Keith Lee and Dijakovic, right?
That's correct.
Oh shit! So that might not actually work then. No. Okay, never mind. I don't have it.
They said dream tag team matchups, so I do want to keep them as tag teams. I want to do something with golden role models, but I'm trying to think of other women's tag.
Well, the thing is, it's like, well, isn't that simple though? Golden role models versus fucking Sky Pirates.
Golden role models versus Sky Pirates.
We never got it.
We never got it, so we'll make that the official last one. But as an honorable mention, I was even thinking golden role models versus Tam and Arisa. That would be fucking insane.
Twilight Dream, or what was it? Dream Shine.
Yeah, Dream Shine versus Golden Role Models. But yeah, the official one will be Sky Pirates versus Boston Hog. We can even make that another tornado tag match, just put a step on it.
I fuck that. I want a 30-minute Iron Man between those two teams.
There you go, 30-minute Iron Man for that as well. Dude, we did it. We crushed that question.
Mostly you, but I did something. Anyway, Mark, up next, five questions from Mark. First question, which of the following cards from 2007 would you most like to cover, to live react to? Backlash, No Mercy, or Armageddon?
I feel like I'm going to say Armageddon.
I'm looking. Backlash 2007. Oh, shit. I don't want to look at the results. I want to look at the card. I fucked up. Card. Backlash. I'm going to type card for all these Google searches now. Card. Okay, here we go. Card. Backlash. The Hardy Boys versus Cade and Murdoch. Women's title match. Melina defending against Mickie James. U.S. title, Chris Benoit versus MVP. ECW World title handicap match. Bobby Lashley versus the team of Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, and Umaga. World Heavyweight title last man standing match. Undertaker versus Batista. And WWE Heavyweight title fatal 4-way match. Cena, Michaels, Edge, Orton. That's interesting. Okay, No Mercy. Orton versus Triple H for the WWE Heavyweight title. 6-man tag team match. Kendrick, Hardy, and London versus Cade, Kennedy, and Murdoch. ECW Heavyweight title match. Punk versus Big Daddy V with Matt Striker. WWE Heavyweight title match. Triple H versus Umaga. Singles match. Finlay versus Mysterio. Women's title match. Candice Michelle versus Beth Phoenix. Punjabi Prison, Batista versus Khali, and last man standing, Triple H versus Orton. Man, I was really with this card until those last 3 matches. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the Armageddon 07 card. Wait, what the hell?
I actually remember No Mercy. That last man standing match was actually pretty good. The Punjabi Prison, though, I honestly don't remember that, so that can't be good.
That's like the infamous one. Anyway, okay, here we go. Armageddon. MVP defending the U.S. title against Rey Mysterio. CM Punk and Kane versus Big Daddy V and Mark Henry with Matt Striker. Mr. Kennedy versus Shawn Michaels. WWE Heavyweight title #1 contendership match. Triple H versus Jeff Hardy. Finlay versus the Great Khali. Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho for the title. Beth Phoenix versus Mickie James for the title. And a World Heavyweight title triple threat match, Batista, Taker, Edge. This is my favorite of the 3, Armageddon. I'm going to say Armageddon.
Yeah, I already said Armageddon, so stick by that. And then it would have been No Mercy 2, Backlash.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. If I were to rank them, I would rank them in that exact same order. Armageddon, then No Mercy, then Backlash.
So there you go. Next question.
Mark, second question. I feel like NXT is kind of a mess right now. Do you agree? And if so, what would you do to fix it? Yes. And stop fucking hot-shotting takeovers when it's unnecessary.
Yeah, pretty much cosign. I have nothing to add. And maybe promote the Garganos a little less, just as a personal thing.
Yeah, please. I mean, I get that they've been around and that they're, like, loyal and that they don't want to go up to the main roster and all that, but, like, and I get that you want to reward that, too, but, like, they're just not compelling right now, and, like, I don't know. It's just not fun. They're just not fun right now. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I, again, completely agree with everything you're saying. I don't really know what to add without being redundant. I just feel like some of the wrong acts are getting pushed. I'm happy for Kyle O'Reilly, but I can even sympathize to a point with Foster that, like, Yui is still kind of in the title picture, even though the main guy, Adam Cole, lost to Finn Balor for the vacant title. Although Kyle does deserve this. I don't want to, like, associate him with the group. Like, I am excited to see him and Finn Balor tear it up. Women's division seems to be the only solid thing, but now Candice is a part of it, so I don't know.
We got a $2 super chat from Cliff. I got one. Push Shotzi to the moon.
There you go.
And
to the moon, you say, Cliff. That's interesting.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said at first.
I said to the moon. Hey, Cliff, that's interesting.
I see. Yeah. So I would also add, since you're mentioning the women's division and Cliff mentioned Shotzi, maybe introduce like the women that got eliminated in the Battle Royal last night and like let us get to know them and maybe get invested in them and start to like them even as they're jobbing to everyone else, because like I would really like to know who the fuck they were, and I don't, and it's like upsetting to me that I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, I was definitely flummoxed by it as well.
Knowledge is power,
kids.
I would really like to know who they were. That's the thing, is like, you've got talents that might be good, I don't fucking know, but we're never going to find out if you don't put them on TV, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I would agree with Foster, too. Yeah, Cliff. Cliff is like, Brandy Lauren was in there. Heart's eyes. Yeah, she's something special, that's for sure. No, but anyway, I agree with Foster that the idea of mixing up the roster a little bit. There was supposed to be a draft in October. I don't know if that's even still in the plans. If it is, the Gargano, especially Johnny, but really both Garganos, and maybe some of Undisputed Era, but I wouldn't mind keeping Cole and O'Reilly around and sending Fish and Roderick up to the main roster. I think O'Reilly has a world title run in him, and I think that he and Adam Cole reforming Future Shock and NXT is still something that I would love to see. So even if it's just for one more year, I would keep those two guys in NXT and send O'Reilly or Strong and Fish to the main roster as a tag team. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, like, bring back Andrade. Well, we have another question regarding that later. I don't want to jump the. Oh, actually, it's our next question. It's from Mark here. How would you feel about bringing misused Raw and SmackDown talents back to NXT, namely Andrade, Alistair, Ricochet, and Murphy? Yes, to all.
I am all for that.
I will say, Ricochet is the one that I'm like, do we? No. Maybe don't bring him back to NXT. Maybe let his contract expire and let him go back to New Japan and tear it up over there.
Yeah. But I only like heartily co-sign onto this because, and by that I mean like the idea of bringing them back down to NXT, because NXT really is just a third brand now. They're on fucking television for 2 hours every Wednesday until they shift to Tuesday, which could still happen. And with that being the case, I wish NXT was a part of the draft more, like actually taking talents, not just giving talents.
I was hoping that would happen this year. I was hoping that would be like the new format this year, starting this year, since NXT is like, it's on TV. It's a third brand now, kind of thing.
Because, like, especially if the writing would keep up. Like, imagine if a Becky, for example, if she came back, got drafted to an NXT, you could do a whole story about how, well, this is perfect because I was never NXT Women's Champion.
Yes.
And like you could do this whole thing.
To me, that is the real compelling thing, because like Murphy to NXT is perfect to me, because that dude is a guaranteed North American champion, potential world champion in NXT. But on the main roster, he feels like just another guy, and arguably even worse than that, he feels like a fucking geek, right?
Yeah.
And like Andrade and Alistair, maybe just send them over to SmackDown on everything they could do in NXT. Their runs in NXT were fine. They won the world title. They had great matches. Their NXT runs, I don't feel like they need to go back in NXT just to reprove that they're the best after having already done it before getting pulled up to the main roster, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess if Ricochet signs a new contract, because from what I understand, his contract runs up this year, like before the end of the year, and I've also heard that he's not planning on re-signing. So if Ricochet does re-sign, then I would be down for him to going back to NXT trying to win the world title. I'd be cool with that. But Murphy, out of the names listed, are like just absolutely fucking yes. And I would also say, like, I don't know, there are probably some other, like Ruby back to NXT would be so good because she does not get used right on the main roster at all. And it's like, I think it really is just like the talents that I've given up all hope of Vince ever pushing as anything other than a weird like jobber type, which is what Murphy and Ruby kind of are in the position of right now. Anyone else, I'm a little more ambivalent about, but with those two specifically and just generally talents that I've given up all hope on Vince pushing, those are the people that I want to see back in NXT.
Yeah, I completely agree, man.
Fourth question from Mark is actually just for me.
Actually, dude, before you answer that, this is perfect because I really need to like take care of something, so I'll be back.
Okay, man. Well, this is just for me anyway, so I'll answer it while you're gone. All right. Mark wants to know what my predictions are for the NFL season and how terribly the Bears will do. Aren't the Bears 2-0 right now? Let me see. No, they're second? They are 2-0. They are 2-0. Okay, the Bears are 2-0 right now. Oh, and speaking of football, the Thursday Night Football game is going to be coming on very, very soon, and I might find a way to watch that on my television. But yeah, the Bears are 2-0, but the two teams that they've beaten so far are like arguably the two worst teams in the NFL right now, the Lions and the Giants. The Lions should not be as bad as they are right now, but they have like the worst coaching in the NFL right now. And the Giants, I don't know. I think that they're just like a quarterback problem. I think Daniel Jones just kind of sucks. But really, I let me go over the Bears' schedule, and I'll tell you what I think they're going to do. So I expect them to they'll probably lose to the Falcons. They'll beat the Colts, lose to the Bucks. So what are we at? 3-2 so far. They'll beat the Panthers, so that's 4-2 so far. Lose to the Rams, lose to the Saints, lose to the Titans. God, let's just say they go 50-50 with the Vikings. So they'll beat them once and they'll lose to them once. So that's 5-4, including the loss. Packers, they're going to lose to the Packers twice. So that's 5-6. They'll probably beat the Lions again. So that's 6-6. Texans, shit, man. The Texans will probably win that, so that's 7-6. I don't know. I'm gonna say that they'll finish with anywhere from like 7 to 9 wins, probably closer to like the low end of that, 7 or 8. So they'll be pretty bad, but they won't be absolutely terrible. That being said, though, the quarterback situation isn't getting any better. And that's almost worse. Like going 7-9 or 8-8 with a bad quarterback is worse than going 4-12 with a bad quarterback. Because if you go 4-12, you get a new one. If you go 7-9, you're picking like 11-12 overall. You're not going to get the best quarterback. You're not even going to get the second best quarterback. And in this class, you probably won't get the third best quarterback either, because I'm guessing Trey Lance is going to be a top 5 pick too, on top of the already obvious Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. So good luck with that, Mark. I for your sake, I hope that the Bears do far worse than I predict them doing so that they can get a higher draft pick. As far as my predictions for the NFL season, Chiefs are going to win another Super Bowl, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunate in the sense that Andy Reid fucking deserves it after all this time. The payoff for him busting his ass and finally getting a great quarterback to match with his amazing system. You know, the payoff being not just one, but multiple Super Bowls and even multiple consecutive Super Bowls is badass and awesome. I just don't like how repetitive this season feels. This season literally just feels like the 2019 season all over again, with the only real shakeup being Tom Brady to Tampa Bay and then Cam Newton taking his place in New England. That's like, to me, that's the only thing that feels different about this season. Everything else feels pretty much the same as last year. Fucking Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers are all still top of the, you know, rankings and shit. They've all not really changed. It seems like teams still haven't figured out how to stop Lamar Jackson, even though the Chargers seemingly figured out how to stop him in the playoffs 2 years ago. Teams just haven't picked up on it. It's really frustrating to see. Welcome back, John. To see the NFL in a new season, and I'm like excited, like, oh man, I wonder what's going to change this year. And then it's just like, oh, barely anything at all. because I expected some cool new shit, and I didn't get much cool new shit at all. It's kind of a disappointing season, but all that being said, now, John, I heard you were back, and that's good because the next question is just for you.
Excellent. I'm ready to answer it.
Cut a promo on the money clip.
Oh my god. I feel like in a way I already have on our G1 coverage. It's ingenious because it's so boring and so basic, which is the antithesis of what Okada stands for and what he exudes in just his mere presence. But, like, he's working us all so hard. That's why I even wanted to go to the ultimate level and have him do a ripcord money clip at fucking Wrestle Kingdom. Because, like, holy shit. A Japanese crowd, if anything would break them from, like, speaking through their masks and stuff and, like, not just clapping or whatever to show dissent, that might be it. Like, that might be it. Okada might turn Wrestle Kingdom into a fucking super spreader of that. But no, it really is, like, I even said Okada's living in our heads rent-free, because between the man's attire and now the moves that he uses, like, just those little things that he does, we attach such importance to him. We kind of, glom onto him, that the moment he changes them, it's like, no, I don't like this. And Okada's like, well, you're still paying me, bitch. Yeah, like, I wish I could go hard in, like, a negative way, like, this is the most trash finish or whatever, and I hate it. I feel like, and in a way, I don't want to say that I think it, like, exposes Okada in a way, because I still think he's a freak athlete, and he's like the current ace for a reason, but I think it shows how much he structures his matches around the build-up to the Rainmaker. I don't think his matches have been necessarily terrible without it. I know a lot of people are shitting on him.
Bro, dude, you have no clue how many fucking times I've seen people say Okada hasn't been good for 2 years now.
Are you fucking serious? Did we watch the same Wrestle Kingdom this year?
You gotta understand. You've gotta understand. As soon as Evil won the world title and the Intercontinental title, when he won the dual belts, there was this small subsection of YouTube, of wrestling YouTube, of New Japan YouTube, right? That got together and decided, okay, here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna pretend like New Japan right now is 2000 WCW and Okada actually sucks secretly.
Yeah, wow.
And they made like multiple 30+ minute videos about it and explaining like, oh yeah, when a wrestling promotion is bad, if you're a fan of that promotion, you don't know it's bad until it's too late. So we're just really actually secretly ahead of all you guys on the curve.
I hate wrestling sometimes.
No, dude, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. So no, like, I'm not even gonna go hard like, oh, Okada, how could you? I think the man's a fucking genius. I think he knows what he's doing at all fucking times, and he's got to be having the time of his life playing us all like fiddles. Well, I should say most of us like fiddles. So, yeah, good on you, Okada. Good on you.
Oh, man. Anyway, next set of questions are from Hazardous Something, a.k.a.
Oh, it's been a while.
On the Discord. He hasn't asked questions in a while, but he got 4 in this time around.
Damn.
3.5, because the fourth one is more of a follow-up to the third one. But first question, in hell for wrestling fans, what would be the worst match ever that you would be forced to watch on loop?
Maybe Cameron's favorite match, Melina versus Alicia Fox. No, you know what? Because it was a wrestling match, because it was sanctioned, Jenna Maraska versus Charmel. Over and over. 2 people that can't work. Because at least Melina, I'll give her credit. There are some matches of hers I enjoy. And even Alicia, I feel like we've even gone to bat for her a few times. So no, in all seriousness, just get 2 people that can't work in an actual sanctioned match. Because it counts. Jenna Maraska versus Charmel immediately comes to mind. So yeah, that would be wrestling hell for me. It's just that match for all eternity.
I have an actual answer for this, but I want to find it.
Okay. Oh, wow, Angel's here. He made it. I know he had stuff to do, but his ears were burning because we were talking about Okada. Those people are nuts.
Where is this match? I have an exact match in my mind. I just have to remember. Here it is. The Young Bucks versus the Brotherhood from AEW Fight for the Fallen 2019.
Oh, dude, that's so good because it was such a circle jerk. Literally, them jerking themselves off in a circle. Like,
and it went over 30 minutes too.
Jesus.
That to me, that was what I really wanted to do. Was I wanted to find a match that was just fucking grueling and boring and dragged and went way too long. And I knew AEW would be the place to find it, and that was the one that came to my mind. So that's my answer.
There you go. Next question.
Second question from Hazardous Something. Same question, but with a hypothetical match, rather than a match that we already have had happened. In the very worst match that you can imagine.
Charlotte versus Nia Jax. Because that hasn't happened yet, I don't think, right? Or has it happened? No, didn't she almost injure Charlotte in a match? So that match has probably already happened. He said,
because she dropped Charlotte on her head. Yep. But that doesn't, you could just say like those two in like an Iron Man match or something like that.
Oh, God, yeah. Charlotte and Nia in a 60-minute Iron Man match. You want to talk about long and grueling, brother? That would fucking do it. Yeah, that'll be my pick.
I'm gonna stick with the Iron Man match rule, but I'm gonna make it a fatal 4-way. Are you ready for this?
Oh, dear God.
It's a fatal 4-way intergender 60-minute Iron Man match.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes versus Charlotte Flair versus Austin Aries versus Low-Ki.
Oh, wow. Are you fucking jockeying for a job? And you want to, like, run wrestling? Hell, look, let me book this. No one will ever be happy again, I
promise. Hell yes. All right. Let's move on. Third question from Hazardous Something. Who are your top 3 characters from the first 4 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Now, in case you forget, the 4th season ends on our agents being taken to space and Coulson staring out and being like, well, gotta stop staring, time to get back to work. So the 5th season is the one that Hazardous hasn't gotten to yet, but the first season was the whole thing with basically like the villain by week, and then at the end of the season there was the big turn and that whole thing. The 2nd season was the discovery of Inhumans and the Obelisk, and, fucking Daisy becoming Daisy, turning from Sky to Daisy, getting her powers, and her mom and all that stuff. 3rd season was Lash and fucking Hive and that whole thing. 4th season was the big 3-parter with the Ghost Rider, and then Stuck in the Framework, and then Ada losing her shit. So those are the first 4 seasons. So we're saying our 3 favorite characters from those first 4 seasons.
Okay, Okay, I want to be smart about this. I do genuinely love Daisy and Coulson.
I was going to say. Coulson and May, I think, are my 2 favorite characters in those first 4 seasons.
And see, I really like May, too. So I've already exhausted 3, but the 4th one is going to be, like, just a character that wasn't a constant like those 3. So
I have one already. I have one.
Okay.
Daisy's dad, Cal.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm...
Fucking Chiefin. Jesus. Dude, sometimes I think Chiefin's better at your shtick than you are.
Why do you... well, yeah, because, like, I was either going to mention Hive or, hold on.
Ada?
No.
Oh, dude, I just thought of someone, too.
Oh, yeah, okay, who'd you think of?
I'm trying to remember his name. He was in one of the... Holden Radcliffe. Dr. Radcliffe, played by John Anna. I fucking loved that dude. And he was gone by the end of season 4, so I'm going to actually say, okay, so my 3 favorites, sorry, May, I got to skip out on you. Coulson, Radcliffe, and May, or Daisy's dad, Cal.
Okay. And again, for me, I would say Coulson, May. I added Daisy in for a 4th one. I'm either thinking Hive or, and I'm such a son of a bitch, Dr. Leopold Fitz. Because he was so fucking he was so genuinely evil. He made me squirm in that one scene where he forcefully removes, like, and she's not even on anesthetic or anything, the inhibitor from Daisy, so their quake powers are totally unleashed.
Yeah.
And she's just like screaming, and then at the end she's like, "I'll never forgive you."
Dude,
like that's,
no, you're spoiling. That happened in a later season.
Oh, did it? Damn. Because, yeah, you said the first 4.
Yeah, so no, the doctor in the framework is what you're talking about, though.
Fuck. Yeah, okay, then fine. Hive. Because I still remember that scene where he kills everybody in a boardroom, and that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hive, definitely. Chief and I are on the same wavelength for sure.
Oh, my God. Okay, next up, fourth question. Why do you like these characters specifically?
Oh, Hive's just a scumbag. Hive's like the
enough for you.
Yeah, Hive. Because here's the thing: like, for as much as I love villains, like, it's actually because of Hive that Ashton once famously remarked to me, "I love that you're so pro-minority," and then in a classic Ashton laugh about it. I could never, even in quote unquote kayfabe, support Hydra because I just reject Nazis in all their forms. But Hive isn't a Nazi. He could be a tool appropriated by the Nazis, but he isn't himself a Nazi, so it's
he's
balance.
The god that the fucking science division of the Nazis started worshiping for some reason.
Yeah, and it's like, I didn't ask for this. May is just a badass, pure and simple. Mm-hmm. Daisy, I always felt like was always very sincere, even if she was a bit misguided at times. I always felt like she was very genuine in her intentions, never really malicious. And Coulson, along the same lines, he was just a very personable leader. You know, never really a hard ass, always very very friendly and down to earth. I feel like really genuinely cared about his team. I don't think he ever saw them as expendable. And, you know, I think those are qualities you want in a leader. So we kind of stand Coulson in this household.
Coulson is, like, I think if I had to pick somebody for, like, the entire series, it would still be Coulson. Coulson is just the fucking man. Like, there were multiple moments in every single season that Coulson did or said something, and I just was like, I fucking love Coulson. He's just the best, man. Coulson is the heart and soul of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they know that. They know that, which is why even when you think he's gone, he's never really truly gone.
Exactly.
So Coulson, he really is the heart and soul of the show. But I will say, Holden Radcliffe, when he shows up, he is one charismatic motherfucker. Like, I love that he gets completely corrupted by the Darkhold in season 4. Doesn't let on, and then, like, later on in the season, it's revealed, like, oh yeah, he's way too far gone. And, like, even in the framework, though, because he ends up living to regret being corrupted by the framework, or by the Darkhold, basically. But even in the framework, he's still so helpful, and, like, you never lose sight of this idea that he has good intentions. He's just willing to be a scumbag to achieve what he thinks is the good thing that he intends to achieve. Right?
Right, yeah.
I always love, even from, I think we first meet Holden in, like, season 2. Because, like, I want to say, it's like he gets brought in for some kind of robotics or something. Maybe, was he the one that made Coulson's arm, maybe? I don't even remember. But he gets introduced in, I think, season 2. It might have been very beginning of season 3, but I think it was mid-season 2 that he gets introduced. And he's just great throughout the whole thing. And then Cal... Man, dude is a psychopath without a doubt, but the shit that he was put through, oh my God.
Yeah, who wouldn't be, right?
Right? Like, he had his daughter taken from him by a Nazi organization, and then he had his wife, the mother of his daughter, torn to shreds by the same Nazi organization. And of course, his entire goal in life, his motivation, is to kill the head of this Nazi organization. And some other motherfucker who has assumed a fatherly role in your daughter's life does it instead, I'd be pissed too. But by the end of it all, it gets resolved. His life is not destroyed. He gets his life remains intact, even if his memories do get tweaked. And I really just wanted to see him and Daisy kind of be happy as father and daughter. I'm not going to go any further as far as to if there's any follow-up on that, because I don't want to ruin anything for Hazardous. But at the end of the day, their dynamic in season 3 was really intriguing to me. And I know Paul's not here, but at the end of the day, I've got daddy issues too. So seeing a father that cares that much about their kid churns me up inside in a good way.
Hell yeah.
First question from Abel. Are we ready?
Oh, here we fucking go. All right.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny because even in the Discord, Abel asked his questions, and then like a couple hours later, because Abel asked his questions today at like 12:34 p.m. And then at 5:17 p.m., Foster said, John last night after NXT. Hopefully not too serious of a Q&A.
Bring it. Bring it. Fucking
First
bring
question
it.
from Abel. What are your thoughts on Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is a piece of shit. He actually, it's funny that the company's named Tesla because it'd be more appropriate if it was named Edison. Given that Edison really wasn't an inventor either. He was just a parasitic capitalist.
Well, you know what though, dude? Elon Musk is aware of this, the optics of that, and that's why he fucking calls it Tesla.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, that's the thing. Elon Musk is Thomas Edison if Thomas Edison knew how to make people like him.
Yeah. And him joking that, we'll coup whoever we want, fuck off. Just fuck off. Yeah. I hope everything you do fails, and I hope if there is a Great Depression, I very much look forward to knowing that you and I are hopefully in the same boat and that you lose everything.
See, John, I don't know if you remembered this, but the Great Depression only affects the bottom 99%.
That is,
it actually has the opposite effect on the top 1%. They make money. So, the richest few people, and I don't even want to say 1% because it's less than 1%, but the richest few people in America have seen record high growths in the last 6 months while the rest of us are suffering.
Yeah, that's right. You know what, though? It doesn't matter because he's a shit inventor anyway. So if he tries to make a spaceship to escape all of us, it'll probably go the Apollo 13 route. Or was it the Challenger? Either way, I think it was the Challenger. So it'll blow up. And, and if it doesn't, then we'll just rip him off the ship and just tear out his entrails and eat them greedily, like the greed that he's been exhibiting his whole life. So he'll get his. I'm confident he'll get his. And yeah, anything he's a part of, it's garbage. Just garbage. Yeah. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. So, next question. Unless this is for both. If you have anything you want to say.
Yeah, this is for both. I do agree. He is a garbage person. I like to basically say that, like, imagine if Jeff Bezos was just better at reading the room and tried to make himself look like Tony Stark. That's Elon Musk.
There you go. Perfectly said.
Yeah. He literally wants people to think he's fucking Iron Man. And, like, it's really stupid. So, anyway, next question from Abel. Do you think Ruth Bader Ginsburg's vacancy will successfully be filled by Trump before the election? And if so, this is a multiple... I'm saying this as a preface to you, John. This is a multiple layered, stacked if here, okay?
Okay.
If Trump... First of all, let's just answer the question. Do you think Ruth Bader Ginsburg's vacancy will be successfully filled by Trump before the election?
Foolishly, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think there's too much turmoil.
Let me also tack on a little extra question that Abel didn't ask. Do you think that vacancy will be successfully filled by Trump before the handing over of power in January?
That's more plausible. I'm going to say maybe. I don't want to commit to a yes to that, but that
okay.
I think is more plausible than before the election.
Okay, so I'm actually with you on this. I think they're going to try their asses off, but I think that there's going to be just barely enough Republican regret, basically, Republican guilt. There's an Alaskan senator, and Susan Collins allegedly has said that she doesn't want to move to replace the vacancy. So we already have two. If one more person out of the other 51 decides, I might have a conscience today, then we can avoid it happening. So we just need 1 out of 50 or 51. Not even the best odds, unfortunately, when it comes to Republicans. But at the end of the day, I don't think that they necessarily will succeed. But here is the big question. If they do succeed, if it does happen, if the Republican Senate and Trump do manage to pass basically one of Brett Kavanaugh's drinking buddies, a Republican right-wing justice into the Supreme Court before Trump loses his power and before all of the fucking senators lose their shit too. Do we think that the Democrats, again, multiple ifs here, if the Senate flips to Dem and Biden wins the presidency, will stack the Supreme Court, basically add 2 more seats and make sure that they are Democrats?
God, I want to be honest without being hyperbolic, and I know that's kind of hard for me sometimes.
I wanted to add, there's also a Democratic senator, or senator to be, I guess I should say. There's a Senate race happening in Arizona where the previous person that was on the bench or on the seat, I think, died or something. So whoever wins that election in November will immediately take their seat rather than having to wait until January to take it. And it's looking like the Democrat is going to win that race. So that's like another sort of swing. So if they don't pass the Supreme Court justice in by the election, there's a really strong chance that it won't happen at all. Because if they don't do it by the election, then the 2 Republicans, the one from Alaska and then Susan Collins, that have already said that they won't vote for it, and the new Democratic senator from Arizona, that's enough to make it a 50-50 split, and they won't be able to do it.
Yeah, you know what? Just to keep it confined to what Abel actually asked and not go in like outside the scope, I could see them expanding the court. I even already saw something that the more quote-unquote progressive wing of the party is going to keep pressing Biden to expand the court, which only worries me because, like, if I'm Joe Biden, which thank God I'm not, I don't know, like, how you don't look at that as something you should really be pushing as part of your platform. I mean, really, I have a bunch of problems with the Supreme Court in general, but again, I'm trying to keep the answer within the scope.
I also saw earlier today in the Discord that apparently the House passed a bill that would decrease the amount of time that a justice on the Supreme Court can serve from lifetime to single 18-year term.
I still think that's too long in a way, but that's much better than what we're working with. The idea that they'd even have terms, like, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see them expanding the court. I mean, honestly, guys, everything's such a mess that everything except for actual revolution, which is what I would call for, I think is on the table. Anything from the most draconian right-wing measures to the most palliative liberal measures that, like, I guess kind of put a Band-Aid over it, but it doesn't meaningfully change anything.
Yeah.
I could see all of that beyond meaningful radical change on the table. Yeah. That's my most honest answer without being hyperbolic. So.
Yeah. All right. Next up from Abel, thoughts. Oh, God.
Are we doing it? Is this what I think it is?
This is the one. Thoughts on the grand jury decision not to charge the officers for Breonna Taylor's death and the ensuing riots.
You know what? I'm going to keep this really simple because I've done so much ranting on the loss of black life, police brutality, and I do say rants because Ashton's usually the calmer of the two of us, and he keeps it more streamlined, and I appreciate him for that. I am just going to simply say this because I am tired, and if I'm tired, God fucking knows how our friends who are black people that we know are black, or just non-white in general, brown, you know, whatever, how they are feeling. I will just say this. After that ruling, which only indicts a person because of the bullets that missed, that you show more sympathy and legal concern for the drywall rather than a beauteous young woman who was an EMT during a fucking pandemic. I don't want to hear any condemnation, which I already have from Tommy Lahren and other right-wingers. This idea, this audacity that you can morally police black people for how they handle their injustice when you're the same people frothing at the mouth. And again, I'm not like a Jon Stewart liberal. I don't think that pointing out hypocrisy is going to make the evil go away. Oh my God, here's an inconsistency. The world is saved. But it's the idea that you would be frothing at the mouth to just bomb the entire Middle East and then put an American flag over the ashes. And you're going to condemn black people for, protesting, most of them peacefully, because we need to remember, too, that any buildings that get burned or any windows that get destroyed, which, for the record, fuck capitalism and fuck shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, like, the people are protesting, the cops are the ones that are fucking rioting.
Yeah, the cops are the ones that are rioting, and they're outside agitators that want to discredit like black political movements.
Yeah.
So they burn. Like even that Wendy's in Atlanta that we talked about, that was a white person that burned that, but everybody was so quick to blame it on Black Lives Matter because they don't. And this is the one thing I would say. You know, you don't have a right to police people fighting for their liberation. I will never tell a black person how they should revolt or how they should protest because it's their oppression. It's the boot on their neck they are trying to get off. The same way, anyway, I resist ableism. I wouldn't want somebody that profits from ableism telling me fucking shit. But the second thing, and I did have a second thing here that I wanted to say. So what I want my comrades to understand, and I think they do understand this. I think this would just be something more for like the liberal wing. Right-wingers do not care, like, about the actual facts of the situation. They do not care what Black Lives Matter actually stands for. They do not care. Wait, did you say something? I didn't want to...
I'm just upset. I'm just angry. I'm making angry noises. You can continue.
Okay, yeah. Like, they don't care because they have the power right now. And, like, power is literally the only thing that matters to them. Mm-hmm. And again, that's why I say, like, I don't want to go hard because I used to be liberal, and I feel like liberals are a lot closer to being in the left than, like, a fucking alt-righter, right? But they need to understand that, again, that those, like, Jon Stewart tactics of, like, you said this, but back in 2016 you said this. They didn't have the power then. They have the power now. That's literally all they care about. Yep. And that's why, like... And I don't want to shit on anybody that's going to vote for Biden. Hell, I just talked to my county clerk today. I'm getting all prepared so that I can vote for Biden, and we will never talk about it in this fucking house because that is my dying shame, and I'm not even kidding. And fuck anybody that says hyperbole. The idea that I'm voting for a lecherous, racist fucking piece of shit just to stop another lecherous, racist, rapist piece of shit because the system is so fundamentally broken makes me fucking ill. And also the guy that voted for the crime bill that's pretty much created the conditions for Black America in the first place. And then he has the audacity to say at times, I don't think he said this in a while, but I'll be the most progressive president since FDR. Shut the fuck up. I trust the protesters. I trust the people actually seizing the streets. And all the fucking right-wingers that are like, if you just obeyed the cop, if you just obeyed curfew, if you just did that, like, I know you think the boot tastes good, but we don't all have to order off the same fucking menu as you, okay? So maybe sit down and shut the fuck up. I don't think we should police people fighting for their liberation. And I think what happened to Breonna Taylor, it's obviously, it's not even Breonna Taylor, because as somebody pointed out, she's dead. And that alone was a travesty and a crime. What this ruling does is it's a fuck you to every existing black person that's still alive. Yeah. Because it is telling them practically to their face that your life doesn't matter. Like, I'm not saying, again, Breonna shouldn't be dead. She should still be here. She should still be doing the courageous work that all of us could only think to do, serving people in the middle of a pandemic. But, like, what this ruling really hurts is black life as a concept, because they are telling you judicially it does not matter. We will go with the officers every time. And to every Blue Lives Matter supporter, to everybody that wants BLM and Antifa, which Antifa isn't even a fucking group, but again, they don't care, registered as a terrorist organization, these are the same people. I got an ad on Facebook the other day for the No Safe Spaces movie. Has like Ben Shapiro, Adam Carolla, Dennis Prager. I am sick and tired of being gaslit. Adam
Carolla? God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you didn't know? He's been like fucking red pill dispenser for a while now.
To be fair, The Man Show, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm sick and tired of being gaslit by conservatives. And again, I can only imagine how black people fighting for their liberation feel. That they're an oppressed group. When you actually look at what's happening in this country, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there are black people that lose their sons, daughters, whatever relationship because of police brutality. And let's see, let me check my notes here. You're going to claim to be persecuted because I can't say that America's the greatest country on earth anymore. I hate them. Like, I don't even have the patience. I was talking to Just Alex, and he's like, you know, dude, I try and hear all sides, and this is not against Just Alex. God knows. I don't know how he keeps his heart and his conscience, because I feel like mine has abandoned me for right-wingers like long ago. I'm over it. I actively fucking hate these people. And I've already seen, again, people saying, like, oh, the cops were right to do what they did. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend shouldn't have fired on them. Are you fucking kidding me?
They broke into the house.
Yeah.
And even the right house, from what I understand.
Dude, with how gun-happy white people are with every mass shooting, you're going to dictate when black people should be able to fire a gun, especially when they were plainclothes agents.
Well, isn't that the old joke, though, is the NRA supporters love the idea of everyone having guns until a black dude shows up with one?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just it. Like, I am so... And in a way, it's funny, because voting for Biden, because I'm just looking at what Foster said, everyone in my family is voting for Biden, difference between us. I'm not proud of it. Foster, that's a mood. Because in a way, I even feel like I'm selling out my black comrades by voting for Biden. Because again, he wrote the fucking crime bill, and he's the same guy. Which again, not to call out people, but I was kind of talking to Brandon Best about this, and I think he's well natured. But he's like, "Oh, John, what if we just change like particular acts? Like, what if we just change particular actions or situations?" That's literally what Joe Biden's saying. Like, shoot him in the leg, not in the heart. Yeah. That's literally Bidenism. And Bidenism isn't going to do shit. It may save us from Armageddon, but for how much longer? This shit cannot continue. It is not sustainable. So everybody that protests, every legitimate BLM supporter or just black radical that riots, that isn't an outside agitator, fucking good. I hope another police precinct burns. I don't really give a fuck about saying it. Again, I've said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. The only difference between a cop and a Klansman is the uniform and a pension. Yep. Like, this shit cannot.
And that's the thing too, is there was a time that when I first heard you say that, I feel like my body kind of rejected it. I was like, what? No, there's no way. I'm fully on board with that now. Like, there's no fucking difference. That is, yeah, cops are just professional Klansmen. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and like, Abel, I love you, but you knew this was coming. Like, I don't know if you just like winding me up and watching me go. I'm guessing that's what this is.
Oh, for sure. Abel doesn't let it on. Abel's a total sweetheart, and he comes off as super wholesome, but dude is a master troll.
He is. Master troll, probably one of the greatest skills of our generation. So let me make it crystal fucking clear. If the Black Panther, which they might even still be around, but I'm talking like the fucking 70s, that whole era. If they were to fucking make a comeback, I'd donate. I'd write on their behalf. I mean, they probably wouldn't let me for obvious reasons. But you know why? Because black radicalism as a disabled man fucking helped me. I think his name was Brad Lomax, was a Black Panther who was disabled. And he brought the two struggles together. And Black Panthers actually gave us food and aid while we were fighting for the ADA to get passed. So if you want to know where I stand with black people fighting white supremacy, when black people have had my back more than white conservatives or Democrats ever have, fucking burn it all to the ground. I don't even fucking care. And one woman said it best. They're lucky black people want equality and not revenge, because if they ever changed their minds, I wouldn't even change my tone. I honestly wouldn't even change my tone. Take your revenge. Fuck it. Fuck your oppressors. Fuck your masters. I'm telling you, like, I'm tired of it. You can't vote out your masters. You can't vote out violent institutions like capitalism, like police brutality. You need to gut it. You need to abolish it. We need to start fucking over. And I will say, by any means necessary. That's always been my position. That always will be my position. And as we get closer to fucking doomsday, I wish more people were waking up to it, but I think more people still incredulously believe in reformism. You can't reform cancer. Like, I never hear like a doctor. Now, Judy, if we get rid of 80% of the cancer, maybe you can talk to the other 20%. I don't know. You can share. That's like some Israel-Palestine bullshit, which fuck that too, by the way. You excise all the cancer. That's the fucking point. White supremacy is a cancer. You can't live with 2% white supremacy. You either get rid of all of it or you get rid of none of it. There is no compromise. We do not compromise with fucking oppressors. We do not compromise with racists. We do not compromise with imperialists, because white supremacy is also an imperial project. Just ask the Iranians suffering sanctions. Okay? Snuff this shit fucking out. That's all I'm going to say every fucking time we talk about this. Any way they want to do it, whether it's poetry, fucking rocks and stones, fucking artwork, whatever. Do it. Because this shit needs to be taken care of. So that's all I'm going to say. Do you have anything you want to
add? You know what? I don't really know if I can follow up your passionate rant there, but at the end of the day, it's really disgusting. And I don't know if it's better or worse that they are now being completely and totally transparent and mask off about the fact that the police are not here to protect people. The police are here to protect property, private property, and the state.
Yeah. Dude, you said it perfectly. Absolutely. They are full mask off
when we say abolish the police, we're not saying get rid of all people who want to protect people. We're saying abolish the fucking military state.
Yes. All right, Abel, what's your last question? Because that was only
that was only the third question, and the industrial military complex can go with it too, by the way.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And the industrial prison complex too.
Yes. Yeah, because they're all connected.
Yeah.
They all make a pipeline that serves white supremacy. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, and that's the bigger picture, right? Is it serves white supremacy not only at face value in the sense that like black people are more likely to be arrested for the same crimes than white people, but also then can kind of trickle that, can follow the line, connect the dots. The black people that are more likely to get convicted and put in prison and serve harsher sentences than the white people for the same crimes aren't allowed to vote because felons aren't allowed to vote in this country.
Yeah.
And then you have to check that little box on your employment form. So good luck getting a job, even after you get out. And hell, if you were if you were in prison for a quote unquote good reason, if you killed someone, if you burgled someone, if you raped someone, whatever, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, if you're a genuinely rehabilitated, different person, good fucking luck coming back into society, people. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Fourth question from Abel, though. Are we ever going to get a second stimulus check? No. Ready for the next?
No, that's not happening.
Yeah. Fifth and final question from Abel. When/how do you see the coronavirus pandemic ending? How effective can the vaccine be if only half the population trusts it enough to get it?
Honestly, Abel, my most pessimistic answer is we're going to have a lockdown every year. But
that's not even realistic, I don't think. Because
I don't think so either. But like again,
because at the end of the day, to me, like if for fuck's sakes. So here's my thing, right? I trust my doctor. I really do. My doctor has never led me astray. My doctor, I trust her. She leads me down the right path. She has helped me, even not necessarily as far as like prescribing drugs goes. She has helped me in other ways too, like, leading me to a website that helped me out, kind of telling me that I got to call my insurance and see if they can cover certain things, little stuff like that she doesn't have to do, that she does anyway, right? So if a coronavirus vaccine becomes publicly available, and let's say the first round is only available to those at risk, so elderly and people with pre-existing conditions that put you in the risk group. So like, immunocompromised, asthma, diabetes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have asthma, so I would be in that group. I would consult her, and if she would say, yes, it's safe, it should make you immune to coronavirus, I'm getting that shit immediately. And at that point, I don't give a fuck what anyone else does, because I could spend time with somebody that does have coronavirus. I'm immune from that shit. I don't give a fuck, right? So in my mind, if the people who get it first, which is, again, the people who are the most at risk, because I'm assuming that's how, realistically, the people who would get it first are the rich, or actually, no, that's not even true. The at-risk people would get it first, because the rich would want to use them as their guinea pigs. So you're welcome, swine. But I would be a part of the group that gets it first because I have asthma, right? So at that point, I feel like I can speak for most people. If you get immunized from the virus, your immediate mindset changes. You stop wearing masks. You stop worrying about touching your face. And all that is fine because you're not going to fucking get it if you're immune to it, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. That is also going to open up doors for people that didn't get the vaccine to start acting that way as well.
Right.
So I would expect the vaccine to come out, the first round of people, which I would assume would be the most at risk, to get the vaccine, right? And then everything opens back up. No restrictions, no mask mandate. no social distancing, everything opens back up, right?
Yeah.
So now suddenly everything's open.
Yeah, I think that was a beautiful, or I really should say incisive and accurate exposition of what would happen. So I'm just going to co-sign. I can't do better than that. So next set of questions.
That being said, though, I also think that once you start to reach the 75, 80% vaccinated range, it does start to give legitimate herd immunity. So
Yeah.
that's when it starts to get real. And I think that after the first spike and the first re-lockdown, after people thought things would go back to normal, that's probably going to be when people, 2 reports of people saying they got autism from the vaccine out of the 100 million that got it. So maybe I'll just risk it. It's fine. And that will be when enough people, maybe it'll take a year or two for enough people to get it that there won't be another big spike again. But yeah, I think that it'll be a cycle. It'll be like, okay, half the people got the vaccine and the other half are the ones that are dealing with a spike, so quarantine. I wonder, God, never mind. So the people that are fucking it up for everyone else, there's going to be a chunk of them then that decides to get the vaccine after the spike, right? So
yeah,
it's like, it'll be a cycle, but I say no more than 3 years from now, we'll be forgetting about coronavirus as a thing of the past.
Yeah. Again, well said. There's really not that much I can add to that. So,
all right, next set of questions are the Chiefin. First up, cut a promo on Cody getting squashed by Brody Lee in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and then comparing his loss to Orange Cassidy's 11-minute 34-second loss on Dynamite last night.
Well, of course he would, because Cody has to protect his stock at all costs. Very happy for Brody, though. He's an excellent worker. Great talker, I think. I have enjoyed what I've seen of him on Dynamite, as the leader of the Dark Order. Cody's a little bitch bag that got exposed. I actually watched his return on Dynamite last night on YouTube. Oh, my God. I mean, we've said it many times before, but it bears repeating. This dude is such a mark for himself. Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. So great to see Brody really squash him. I know it's not really going to do anything like in real life. It's not going to be a real life humbling of Cody or anything like that because it's all worked. But still great to see a talent like Brody get the nod there. And that's pretty much all I have to say because Cody isn't even worth the words I've already used on him. So
let me pull something up real quick. I'm just going to take a second. Here we go. Okay. You know what? I made a mistake. Our boy Rotten Butter asked 3 questions this month, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't even see them. So we should definitely get to those. I'll quick answer the Cody thing. Fuck Cody Rhodes. I don't know what else you want me to say at this point. I feel like how many cut a promo? I see 3 already. Questions have we gotten this time around? Why do you all keep asking us to cut promos on shit that you know we don't like?
Yeah.
Cut a promo on this thing that we already know you hate and you rant about all the time. What?
Yeah, as if all of our other
Yeah. But anyway, let's get around to our Rotten Butter question.
All right. Yeah, I've just been doing reading.
He actually said everything but Doom Patrol.
Oh, everything but Doom. Okay.
Because actually his second question was, I was going to use this question for something poignant, but that was before you mentioned motherfucking Doom Patrol. So talk more about Doom Patrol. So we'll get around to that for your second question. But first, let's talk about everything that we've watched / read / consumed over the course of the last month.
I've been doing Are You the One with the Family? It's another just quality reality TV show. Can this algorithm help people find love? Spoiler alert, probably not. So, that's been fun. Obviously playing a lot of Rocket League with Ashton. We did Van Helsing, what was it, just 2 nights ago? It was 2 nights ago.
It was Tuesday night, yep.
And we did Enola Holmes last night, which was really good.
So cute.
Yeah, it was. Like your face. Let's see what else here. Oh yeah, we did Pokemon Journeys or whatever that show's called, on Netflix.
I'm kind of ready to be done with that show. It's kind of boring me lately.
Yeah, same. I mean, you can only watch Go catch so many Pokemon with such little effort. Again, I've done my reading shit. I never really like to get into that because that's more nerdy stuff. Let's see. What else have I done? Oh, Music-wise, this month was good to me. Fucking Every Hour Kills, Dear Agony, and Never Tell all came out with new music. So I felt fucking spoiled. And one of my favorite bands, Mosaic, that I've actually interacted with on Facebook a few times. I always feel very flattered when they give me their time. They said they're going to have new music come out before the end of the year. So, like, I'm riding pretty high right about now. Obviously, all the stuff TWitWoW related, which Rotten Butter should know. I mean, we really enjoyed the 5-star Grand Prix this year. I thought it was a great outing for Stardom. G1 Climax has been great. I'm trying to think if I watched anything else with the family besides RD1. I'm sure I have. I'm just trying to think. It's funny the things we forget about, even if it is like a concurrent kind of thing. Was the Batman trailer and everything DC this month, Ashton, or was that last month?
That was August.
That was August. I'm telling you, man, pandemic time has me fucked up. I know we watched a trailer for that anime. I already forget the name of it, but I know you wanted to like check that out. You and I watched
Konosuba. Konosuba is the name of it.
Konosuba, yeah. You and I watched the Digimon kind of short subbed because I know we want to do Digimon.
Yeah, the very first movie was literally just called Digimon Adventure, the first ever Digimon movie in Japanese, where it's literally just the Digi-Egg coming out, randomly appearing in reality, turning into a Botomon, and then Koromon, and then Agumon, and then Greymon, and like the discovery of little tiny Kari, little tiny Kari discovering it, and Tai being there with her, and you know, it's a really fucking good short film, man. It's like there's more. There's a whole bunch more of the Japanese short films, but the first one is meant to be watched before you start watching the actual series, which is next on our list to do, is to watch the actual Digimon series in Japanese.
Right. We lost well, actually, it wasn't power. We lost internet recently. Yeah. And thankfully we got back in time because I know Ash and I had to do a recording. And we watched some of the old Beavis and Butthead episodes. I know they're getting ready to return in 2020 with like a new concept that I'm pretty excited about. That should be very interesting. I'm guessing we also, that I think was last month as well, because I'm hearing people talk about shows, and I'm like, what other shows did we do? I went to, just talking about things that we did and stuff, it was my sister's birthday, September 14th, so we ended up going to Peterborough, which is a more democratic, more liberal part of New Hampshire, and had some amazing French toast. God, it was so good. And got 2 books there, so had a good time with that. Let me think what else. We've still been watching The Boys, which we're going to have another episode tonight of that. That's going to be fun to do.
Yeah, we've been keeping up with The Boys and Lovecraft Country are the 2 main.
That's right, dude. Lovecraft Country. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to stop there because I think that's pretty good. Ashton, if you want to talk about anything you've done on your own time or just, like, fill in the gaps of things that I forgot to mention, like, about us, feel free.
You know, most of my consumption has been just Japanese media and learning Japanese and stuff like that. I've really gotten more into it over the last month or 2. I have an app now called Wanikani, and I actually got a subscription to it. It's only $9 a month, which is far worth the money for me because it is a super, super useful app. It's basically... It's really as simple as like in-depth flashcards for certain things, but it's not what it is, it's how it teaches you. Because it's like, it does a really good job of starting with the most basic shit and building upon that basic shit, eventually, like over time, getting more and more complicated. And it's like, you stop looking at these like crazy complex Japanese characters as just like this crazy collection of scribbles, and you start learning to recognize certain parts of them from other things, and you start being able to kind of put together what they might mean, what they represent, how they've been pronounced, that kind of stuff. So it's really, I think this is the longest, or not the longest, the largest leap in my learning of Japanese that I have made yet. And I started this like less than a year ago. I started this, I think, like last October, November-ish. But I feel like I've made more progress in the last month than I made in my first 11 months. So it's really helped me a lot. It's so exciting when I like go on Twitter and I see one of the Japanese wrestlers that I follow tweet something in Japanese, and I actually can read it, and I can read like parts of it and like recognize some of the kanji and stuff in it, that like that's such a great feeling. Just such a great intrinsic like fluttering of butterflies, because it's like, oh my god, I'm actually learning this, you know? So
Oh, absolutely, brother.
we watched the WandaVision trailer. That looks fucking incredible. I cannot wait for that show. And apparently it is legitimately going to be coming out this year. Everything else got pushed back though. Like even Black Widow got pushed back like 6 months. Black Widow was supposed to come out in November. Not anymore, coming out in May. So the MCU is on hold. This is going to be the first year since, I want to say since 2008, that goes by without a single Marvel movie coming out at all. Completely devoid of anything Marvel related. So
yeah, that's wild.
It is, yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's worth it, and we're still getting WandaVision. We're still getting WandaVision, and that was one of the two big things that I was most looking forward to. That and the multiverse, the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange movie. That's getting pushed back to like 2022, 2023 now too. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff that I was looking forward to that's getting pushed back. As far as other stuff that I've been watching, I did watch the first 2, I want to say, episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020 subbed, and it's pretty fucking dope. Like, dude, you remember the original Digimon Adventure starts out with them all in like a fucking summer camp, and it starts snowing out of nowhere, and then there's like little asteroids that come down, but they pick them up and they're not asteroids, they're digivices, and then they get swept up in a giant wave that takes them to the digital world where they meet their this big bug looking thing, right? That's the episode of Digimon. The first episode of Digimon Adventure 2020 is completely fucking different. Like, Tai is like home from school, I think it is in the summer, and like Izzy is like a year younger than him, but he comes to his house and they have a conversation about something going on the internet, and then Tai goes through the fucking computer and he gets to meet Agumon, and like they fight something in there, and then eventually they see Matt riding Garurumon, and they're just like, who the hell's that guy? So it's like, they'd rather than really being like, oh, we have to introduce this entire concept, we have to introduce each individual character, we have to, like, all that shit, we're just thrown right into it. It's just, and Tai is too, thrown right into it. Really, almost everyone is thrown right into it, and it's like, what the hell's going on right now, rather than like, oh, this is cute. So it's a lot more intense, it's a lot more kind of fast-paced, a lot snappier. I really like it so far. Looking forward to see kind of where it ends up. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I've also been watching a lot of YouTube content as far as like retro game reviews. Like, there's a channel called King K that I was checking out that has done like a bunch of reviews of retro games, like 3D platformers like Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario Sunshine and stuff like that I've been enjoying. They're, I've also, speaking of those games, I've also been kind of trying to get into emulation on my new phone, because my new phone is powerful enough to handle emulating pretty much everything in the first few generations of games. Like, I think I've already emulated Super Smash Bros. Melee on my phone, and it ran pretty well. Like, it didn't lag or anything. I couldn't really play it correctly because controls are wonky, but I am going to order a controller, what's it called? I forget what it's called. It's a type of controller for a phone. I don't remember what it's called though. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It's a gamepad, but it's like there's a specific word for it. Whoa, hang on one second. It's, God, what is the name of this? You know what? I can't find it. I keep trying to find this I can't find the name of it, but, I think the one that I'm going to end up getting is called the Razer Kishi. which is like $80. But yeah, it's probably worth it because I'll be able to play pretty much anything like Game Boy, PSP, GameCube, N64, PlayStation 1 games on my phone. So pretty stoked about that, and I've got plenty of storage to be able to pull it off. So I think game-wise that's it for me. Let me see. Is there anything else that we've watched that I've forgotten that we haven't talked about yet? I mean, last night I watched The Big Lebowski for like the 500th time.
Oh, nice.
I really do think that's my favorite movie ever. I honestly think it is.
All right. I can't think of anything else to tell Ron about as far as the first question goes. So if you want to move on to the second one, we can.
Sister Sister is now on Netflix, and I've watched the first like 5 or 6 episodes of that, so that's great. There's also there's a new YouTube channel. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her name. It is in the Discord. Jackie linked it back on September 18th, so like 6 days ago. A Chinese woman did an actual review of Mulan, talking about everything culturally wrong with Mulan 2020. And then we also watched Darren Wood. She and her friend did a review of what made Mulan awful. So that's definitely another... God, these Disney live-action remakes are trash. It's really sad how bad they've been. Because, like, I've seen clips of The Lion King. That looked really bad. Aladdin, from what I've heard, was actually pretty good. I haven't bothered watching it yet, but I'd like to. That's, like, the one that I'm just like, okay, cool. John, I think, didn't you and I watch the Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast movie, and it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't good either?
Yeah, precisely. That was precisely what it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's... Oh, and I also, just last night, because I was in, like, a Big Lebowski mood, I literally found a Japanese dub of a scene of Big Lebowski, and it was hilarious.
Amazing.
So that about... I mean, John mentioned we did watch Enola Holmes last night. That was really good, but it would have been better as a series, because, like... An hour into the movie, I was like, I feel like we're 3 episodes into a series. This should be a series. It should have been like an 8-episode first season. They have an amazing stacked cast that seemingly were enjoying what they were doing. You could have gotten like 8 seasons out of it. And now instead they're going to go the way of like a movie franchise, and I'm just not as into that. But anyway, I think that covers everything. John, if you're ready to move on and talk about Doom Patrol, we can talk about Doom Patrol.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Cliff is easily my favorite character.
Yes.
Easily. I love it.
Cliff is number 1, but I will say, even though it is a distant number 2, I think Jane is my number 2.
Jane's my number 2 as well, dude. I'd actually agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I just like that these really are, like, genuinely... You could say horrible people. I don't think that would be hyperbolic. But, like, I like that we start off as that, and they really are working to try and be better, but it's never easy to be better. And, like, I love that the show really seems to be honest about that. It's just, like, in a genre that's so oversaturated, because I feel like we've been in the superhero age for, like, several years now, and you'd think, like, there's nothing new to do. You get shows like The Boys and Doom Patrol that show that just a little bit of juice left to ring out, you know? And, yeah, I just think it's a very inspired concept. I just thoroughly enjoy it. So, yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I definitely agree. It's one of those things where I feel like Doom Patrol is like, we're going to keep you on the edge of your seat. We're going to keep you on your toes. We're going to keep you not knowing necessarily what's going on, but like, you're going to enjoy it the whole time, and we'll fill you in on what's been going on all episode by the end of the episode, right?
Right.
And then Lovecraft Country comes in, and it's just like, yeah, you're not going to know what's going on, and you're not even going to know what happened by the end of the episode, but, like, maybe eventually you'll find out.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country does not care. Lovecraft Country is literally just like, oh, man, you're confused? You don't know what's going on? Oh, that's too bad. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe eventually, sometime. Maybe, if you're lucky. If we're courteous enough to give you the information, maybe then will allow you to find out what's going on.
Yeah, and like the crazy thing is I've never been like so insulted, and yet I'm still here. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, it is my fault. You guys keep doing your own thing because it's just so good.
Yeah, Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, and John even said, like, what was the thing that you said about wanting Cliff to watch Lovecraft Country?
Oh yeah, I want a crossover between Doom Patrol and Lovecraft Country. And by crossover, I mean Cliff just having like a promoted YouTube channel to promote Doom Patrol, and he's just live reacting to episodes of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
And we just do a super cut of every time he says "What the fuck" while watching the show.
yes.
Excellent.
Who was it that said that? And he was just like, "Hey, that's my line."
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right, let's move on. Final question from Rotten Butter. How much is that doggy in the window?
I know I've heard that somewhere. Fuck it. I always get these wrong. It's too much. It's very expensive. $3,000. There we go. But I know I've heard that saying before. I know I've heard that phrase before.
About 350.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Next up.
Yeah, because we answered Chiefin's first question, but then
Yes.
we
So we can get to our second. Who's the worst?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but JR. Agree.
I will say though.
Actually, no. Just to be different from you, Josh Matthews, because he's fucking.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, dude, we have a trifecta too. Because I was even gonna say Jerry Lawler when he's on Raw.
Yeah, but I think why I like Josh Matthews is like you could at least have for JR and King to fall back on that they're really old. Josh Matthews, I think may only be in his 40s, maybe not even that. Let me actually look it up. Josh Matthews. He's 39 years old. So yeah, I was close. But yeah, like he's nowhere near as old. Like he's actually like younger than a Michael Cole, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just bland as shit.
Cole's
Yeah,
in
Josh
his 50s.
Matthews. Yeah. So like Josh
Cole's
Matthews is
51.
no excuse. Yeah. Yeah, like Josh Matthews is the worst to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. So Josh Matthews and the '90s duo of JR and Jerry Lawler.
There you go.
All right. So next question from the Chiefin. What do you think Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez's names will be for Retribution?
Oh God.
We've got T-Bar, Mace, and Slapstick. Oh no.
I feel like one of them is going to be, I don't know why, because, like, with Mia Yim, her whole thing was the HBIC, like, the head baddie in charge. So I was thinking, like, something like, you know, Bones, like, Bad to the Bone, or just something playing on Bad for Mia.
Oh, yeah. That, honestly, Bones sounds pretty much exactly like what they'll make Mia. Bones is, like, perfect for that motif.
And then Mercedes.
Maybe just call her Merc.
Yeah, Merc's perfect. Perfect.
So Merc and Bones.
Oh my God.
Merc, Bones, Mace, T-Bar, and Slapstick.
Why do I feel so dirty that
Or
we
no,
actually
Slapjack. Slapjack.
Slapjack. Why do I feel so dirty that we gave a genuinely good answer to that question? God damn it.
Third question to Chiefin, or that was the third question. Fourth question from Chiefin. Have you watched The Promised Neverland on Netflix? And if you have, what'd you think of the anime? Nope, haven't.
Haven't.
Okay, fifth and final question from the Chiefin, just for me. Thoughts on Digimon Adventure 2020 so far? I kind of answered this already. It's fun through 2 episodes. We'll see where it goes from there. Next question is from Angel, John's friend Angel, who's been showing up to our New Japan streams more recently. It's been really cool to have him around. Recently, my boy Okada has been taking a break from his famed finisher. Well, my question for you is, do you think that anyone else in the world of wrestling would benefit from doing this same thing and taking a break from their finisher?
I feel like this is some more nuanced question because you have to be careful like what alignment they are. Maybe Randy Orton would be because the RKO still gets a pop and he's supposed to be like the most heelish he's ever been since like 07. So like I'm actually gonna say Randy Orton with the RKO. Because yeah, that finish still gets a pop, and you shouldn't be wanting to pop the crowd ever as a heel, especially again when you're supposed to be the kind of heel that Randy Orton is, where you're cold and callous and this and that. Like, what part of that should be cool, like admirable, getting a pop? So yeah, take a risk.
Yeah.
Don't use the RKO for a while. I'm gonna say Randy
That's
Orton.
a really good pick. That might even be the best pick, because like, the thing is, it has to be like an iconic finisher that everyone anticipates in every match, and that really is the only one right now that is even close to the Rainmaker as far as that level goes.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I don't think I can come up with something better than that, so I'm just going to sign on to that. Yeah, Orton with the RKO makes a lot of sense.
All right, next question or set of questions.
Yeah, next set of questions. Craig Skiff is our next set of questions. We got 5 from him, and then we got 5 from Foster, and that's it for the night. Craig's first question: what is your opinion on the rumors surrounding Netflix adapting one of the Legend of Zelda games into a movie/TV series?
We've had so many video game adaptations. What's one more? I just hope that it's good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've actually heard that it was going to be Twilight Princess. I think Craig actually said that the other day in the Discord. So that's pretty exciting. I've never even played Twilight Princess. I've just heard really good things.
Yeah, I'm really not like into the Zelda games at all. And that's not even to say they're like I think they're bad. I just legitimately I've never really given myself to the franchise.
Yeah.
So
if I were for you, I would say your best bet at getting into a Legend of Zelda game would probably be Oracle of Ages, because it's very puzzle oriented, and you seem to be really into like puzzle type stuff in that kind of game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, second question from Craig is for just me, and he said, after his performance on Sunday against the Chiefs, do you think Justin Herbert is the answer at quarterback for the Chargers? You know what? That's actually a really good question. If you want the truth, Craig, I haven't even seen that game. I haven't actually seen the Chiefs-Chargers game. So let me just look it up real quick and get a look at some of the stats. Look at how the performance actually played out, and then I also want to kind of look into the Chiefs' defense and stuff like that. So let me pull up Week 2, Chargers-Chiefs. Here it is. Let's see. How did old Herbsky do? He did 2 out of 3. That's not too bad. Almost 10 YPA. Very nice. 1 tutty, 1 int, 4 rushes. And the Texans have pretty similar tier-wise weapons. So yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by Herbert's first game. I will say though, I'm the type of person who won't answer a question like this after 1 game, and really truthfully, I won't answer a question like this after 2 or 3 seasons, much less games, unless it's super glaringly obvious. Like if it's like a Josh Rosen situation where somebody just so obviously, visibly fails miserably. Unless that is the case, I try not to be very cut and dry about, is this person the answer at quarterback, or is this person a franchise quarterback or whatever like that. I'm very like, let's see them put into a situation where they have to suck in order to fail. And then if they fail, then you know that they're not good. And that's kind of what's going on with like Drew Lock right now with the Broncos. Like he had a really good week 1 performance and he was starting really well in week 2, but then he got injured. So I want to see more from Drew. But Justin Herbert, I actually really liked him as a prospect. So I kind of hope he's the answer for the Chargers, because he's also a guy that I kind of was against the grain on in some senses, because I'm a very analytics driven NFL fan. I really kind of favor analytics over the film, because to me, the eye test is much more likely to deceive than just objective numbers and stats and shit when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if your eyes say, oh, Justin Herbert, he didn't set his feet before he threw this pass, and this pass was inaccurate and he got bailed out by his receiver and all that shit, but the numbers say he blew the other team out of the water, I'm going to tend to lean more towards the numbers. And with Justin Herbert, a lot of the more sort of analytics-driven members of the community didn't like Justin Herbert. They basically said, like, he's another Josh Allen, he's another Carson Wentz, he's another Daniel Jones, kind of cut along the same cloth as those guys, just as far as being these, like, big, tall, big-armed white quarterbacks that maybe aren't actually that great at playing the quarterback position. But I have my own quarterback system for analytics, and it really liked Justin Herbert. So I really like Justin Herbert, and I'm hoping that he ends up working out just so that I can kind of put another notch on my belt. Next question from Craig, though. This is for both of us, John. Do you think there will ever be a Japanese-born WWE champion?
Yeah, definitely.
I could even see Nakamura winning it within the next 5 years, honestly.
Yeah, if he sticks it out, I could see that. I think every what if, I'm always inclined to say yes, so long as the company's still around. And
That's
just
you know what though. Now that I think about it, this is like a typical Craig question though, because Craig is one to leap to conclusions and like really stretch something out to its most extreme conclusion. Like even earlier, he's something about like he thought that we would literally never get through the coronavirus pandemic. He basically said that he thought that it would always be with us. So that's like kind of apocalypse style thinking, like very apocalyptic thinking. He's always the first one to kind of take something and kind of stretch it out to its most extreme conclusion, realistic or not. So him asking this is probably him thinking like, you know what, if Nakamura didn't do it when he had the chance already, we're never going to get a Japanese champion. So I'm thinking like, you know, never say never kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. So long as it's around and so long as society is still around, I feel like every what if will be actualized. Even before Kofi and everybody was like, are we ever going to get a fully black WWE champion? Sure. Because, you know, trends come and go. You know, there's ebbs and flows, you know, with booking and everything else and just the passage of time. Yeah. I think everything. The problem is again, and in this case you do, but I'm talking more in a political and sociological sense, do you have the time to spare? Some communities really don't, you know, and it's like, well, I can't wait 50 years. It'd be really nice if we had it now. When it comes to wrestling and business, it may take 50 years, but it'll happen. It'll absolutely happen. You know, so I never take anything off the table with wrestling because if they feel like it'll get a pop, they'll do it.
Yep.
So.
All right. Fourth question from Craig. If Keith Lee does win the Royal Rumble, should there be a WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match to determine who he will be challenging for that title at WrestleMania 37?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down for that.
I'm the opposite. I think what we should really do is he should challenge the Raw champion, and then the person who challenges the SmackDown champion should be whoever wins the Elimination Chamber.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there should be a SmackDown. Really, if Keith wins the Royal Rumble, then the opposite brand should have the Elimination Chamber. Whether they want to do it for number one contendership or for the title, I think that whatever side gets the Rumble winner, the opposite side should. I know where Craig's coming from with this, because I don't think either one of us is really that immersed in Tubi. Like we've used Tubi, you know, as a way to watch Lucha Underground because Lucha Underground is there for free and it's all 4 seasons in full and stuff. But and I've watched some stuff on Tubi, but I haven't touched Tubi in weeks, maybe even months at this point.
Yeah.
You know how it is with quarantine time. It's all fucky.
Yeah, it is.
All right, that's our final question from Craig. Let's get to our final set of questions from Alex Foster. First up, if you guys were in a tag team, what would Adam Pearce confront you about during the show?
Probably me turning up and saying things on a live mic I shouldn't say.
No.
Yeah, probably.
By things I shouldn't say, do you just mean like anti-corporate sentiment?
Yeah, and maybe even some bullying, because are they still doing a bullying campaign? They probably are.
Dude, they've been bullying a campaign. They've literally been doing an anti-bullying campaign for an irrelevant amount of time because they've always been bullies. Like, the anti-bullying campaign doesn't even matter because they are bullies already.
Yeah, facts.
They were bullies when they started the Be a Star campaign, and they're still bullies now, even if they're still running the Be a Star campaign.
Yeah, facts.
Especially Vince himself. Vince himself is one of the biggest bullies you're ever going to meet.
So what do you think Adam Pearce would confront us about?
If you and I are a tag team, we're using our intelligence to beat everyone else, so probably like booby traps in the locker room.
Oh, that would so be us. Yeah. Guys, you can't keep doing this. Shut up, Pearce. Do what we want.
Listen, man, John Morrison just got hung upside down by his ankle. This isn't okay.
Fine.
Only because it's Morrison, though. You know he's a favorite of mine.
Exactly, yeah.
Second question from Foster. If Santos kidnaps people, how would you guys recruit wrestlers into your faction?
I mean, I would want to kind of believe in common sense, right? So I would just want to sell it, but I mean, force always works.
I mean, why don't I have... Oh, no! I tried to pull it off and I forgot the name of the shit.
Chloroform?
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's past. It's over.
Yeah. So,
But,
I mean...
No, but I honestly, though, what I was thinking was we could destroy them with facts and logic.
I mean, now I feel dirty. But yeah, I would try and sell them on it. Like, look, you know, your career's been kind of in stasis for a little bit. You know, your last championship was like 8 months ago. We could really do all that stuff. And then they were like, you know, I really appreciate your thoughtful presentation, but I don't think it's for me. I would just be like, I don't think you heard me. And then I'd use like a baseball bat, and then I'd shatter one of their kneecaps and be like, so when you get better in 9 months, where are you going? Your faction? That's right. Don't ever make me have this conversation with you again. And then I'd spit on them to drive the point.
No, see, they'd be able to get swayed away from us so easily, though. That's the kind of loyalty that's super fragile. I don't want that kind of loyalty.
Well, you know, then you do your faction based on solidarity and friendship. I'll just do my faction based on pure fear.
You know what we would do? Here's one that I think we can agree on, right?
Yeah.
We would be the Tyrion Lannister, the first 4 seasons Tyrion Lannister of pro wrestling, because we would find people who are being deprived of something that they desperately want that isn't even that difficult to give them, and we were indebted to us, even if we didn't want to hold them accountable to that debt, because they would feel like, oh my God, these people gave me this thing that I needed when nobody else would. And that would be how we would recruit people, because we would have them in our fucking pockets at that point.
That is very true. Interesting.
Way. You know, without the incest and all that.
Yes, there you go.
All right, so next question from Foster. What's a food you thought you would hate but ended up liking?
Oh, God, I feel like I actually have an answer to this.
Okay.
But it's going to be one of those things where I feel like I have an answer and this is going to take me 20 minutes to come up with it. So if you have an answer, please, like, fill in the dead air.
Oh, yeah. When I was like 14, 15 years old. Actually, no, it wasn't then. It was way earlier than that. I was probably like, 8 maybe. 8 years old, somewhere around there. I was at a pool party with my dad. It was a party of his friends and his wife's friends. And I was just dragged along. But it was a pool party, so I enjoyed it. They ordered hot wings. And I had never eaten hot wings before. I thought I would be grossed out by them. And my dad ordered mild, medium, and I tried the mild, and they were kind of boring because mild wings, from wherever he got them from, were literally just like fried chicken wings. There was literally no sauce on them whatsoever. So I was like, this isn't really doing anything for me. And he let me try a medium, and I was like, ooh, this is actually good. I actually like this. And then as I was kind of talking to other people and, looking around and stuff, he was sneaking hot into my little container of medium. So I would end up eating the hotness of hot wings without knowing it. And I was starting to sweat my balls off, but I was into it. And then he told me, you just ate a hot. And I was just like, wait, what? And he was just like, yeah, I put a hot in there, and you just had one of the hots that I put in there. And I was just like, oh, okay. And basically, that was the first time that I ever ate any kind of buffalo wings whatsoever. And it really got me hooked to the point that, like, I started going on Wing Wednesdays with my grandparents. We would go to a local pizza joint, and I would get wings, and my grandpa would get wings, and my nan would get, I think she would either get like a salad or a sub or a slice of pizza or two or something like that. But we did that pretty much every Wednesday for a while. And even to this day, I get, boneless, medium heat hot wings from Pizza Hut are kind of a staple of my diet, which probably isn't the best thing to be a staple of your diet, but they're fucking delicious. So, yeah, that's kind of my story of trying something that I thought I would hate and ended up liking was hot wings. And this was a long, long time ago, like 20 plus years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck, I actually had an answer and now I lost it. Oh, yeah, salt and vinegar chips. Because I know my cousin Tyler used to like love those.
Your cousin
and
what?
My cousin Tyler in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
He loved them. Now, to be fair, this is more like about taste buds changing than like I guess initially liking them, because I think when I first tried them, it's not that I disliked them; they were just a bit too strong for me. But the last time we got them in the house, now granted, I've made a lot of dietary changes myself. I haven't had potato chips in years. I have an approximate to them called veggie straws, which are supposedly like healthier. I never know though, because marketing lies. But the last time I had them, which I feel like was a few years ago, it's very similar to like the hot sauce sensation, dude. Where like it was starting to hurt the roof of my mouth and shit, but I enjoyed the pain and I just kept eating. So yeah, salt and vinegar chips are like a big one for me.
Yeah, along the same lines, I was actually the same way with sour cream and onion chips. I used to think that I would hate them. They even smelled gross to me at one point. And I would also add Cool Ranch Doritos. Like, both of those kind of along the same lines.
Oh, Cool Ranch Doritos are amazing.
Yeah, Cool Ranch Doritos and sour cream and onion chips are both things that I at one point thought were really gross. They smelled disgusting to me, but as soon as I tried them, I actually liked them quite a bit.
Nice.
Fourth question from Foster. Do you think you guys would have been as close as you are now if you had met earlier in life?
I'm going to say no. Because I didn't like myself earlier in life, and I feel like you felt the same way, Ashton. So,
dude,
like,
I don't even like the version of me that I was when I met you, so that's not even necessarily fair.
Yeah, and, like, to be fair, I didn't like the version of me either, but, like, at least we were older then, because I feel like if we would have met each other,
I feel like if we would have met in
yeah.
high school, we would have gotten along swimmingly.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe we would. Because you know what? Honestly, I hated the people that I ran with in high school, and I even have like a lot of buyer's remorse, even thinking about the people that I'm friends with now that I had in high school. I'm like, these people don't really fit my goals now. But if you and I would have gone, that would have.
Although, you know what? I will say this. I feel like if we would have met in high school, we would have gotten along swimmingly, but I also don't think that we would be as good of friends now as we are now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of relationships you make then, unless it's like super committed, which would have been hard for me to do anyway, given my circumstances at home. Yeah. Like, even the people that I genuinely knew, like, in this actual timeline that I was really close with. Like, my one friend, Brandon, who's a former Marine, I remember before his deployment to Japan, he wanted to Gesundheit. He wanted to go to the movies with me and, like, watch Thor 2, because we watched the first Thor together in theaters. And I couldn't go do that with him, because all our money went to my fucking father to shoot up his arm, because, he's heroin addict and stuff like that. So coming from that kind of broken home, it was very hard for me to solidify relationships. So it would have been super awkward if I knew you, because like it would have just been like, oh hey man, you want to go do this stuff? And I would have had to make excuses every time, like, oh, I wish I could, and it would have just been super awkward. So that's another reason why I'm glad that I knew you when I did, because I was more like forthcoming about my situation, and now I'm here. And it's a hell of a lot better than where I was. So
that's actually a really good point, Foster. Even if John and I might have gotten along at any point in our lives, I don't think that we would be as strong of friends now if we had met at any time prior to when we did meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
Maybe like when I was in college and you were finishing out high school, but even then, that would have been a little weirder.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because I didn't turn 19 until like 4 months before my graduation.
Yeah.
So, anyway, final question of the Q&A from Alex Foster. Fifth and final question from him. So in kayfabe, what was the interview and tryout process for Dexter Loomis like?
I think they just asked him questions and he just kept staring a hole through them until.
You know what? I imagine it was a one-on-one with Vince McMahon, and Vince was like, "I'm gonna get this son of a bitch to break. He's gonna answer my questions, and he's gonna look like a goddamn fool." And Loomis just maintained his stoic stare the entire time. And like 15 minutes into the interview, Vince pounded the table and he went, "Son of a bitch! I can't break you! You're hired!"
I agree with the sentiment. I just feel like Vince is such an egomaniac that, like, in his mind, he would interpret, oh, he thinks that because he doesn't blink, he's better than me. And then he would try and do a staring contest. And then when Vince loses the staring contest, he's like, oh, listen, pal, if I give you a contract, you promise this will never leave this room? Because he can't look bad. Remember when that
and that's the one time Loomis blinks, and he just closes his eyes and then opens them and says, I accept.
Yeah, because it was even like, when they did that huge thread of like insane Vince McMahon stories, I think it was Wade Keller maybe, or maybe it was another journalist that like walked in on Vince eating pizza, and he's like, you can't run this. So like anything that Vince looks like is an embarrassment, including losing to another man, like he'd be like, listen, you can't tell the dirt sheets about this.
Yeah.
I'll give you a developmental contract if you just promise to get out of my office right now. We never speak of this again. Like, so I agree with your scenario, but I also see my scenario as plausible because Vince is fucking nuts. So, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that is that. We hope that you enjoyed our Q&A. John, anything you'd like to say before we close everything out here?
No, you guys were fantastic. We're getting out at a pretty decent time. We were just shy of 3 hours.
Yep.
So, yeah, I just want to tell you guys, as I usually do, why is it so hard for me to do this? I know how calendars work. There we go. Next Q&A is going to be October 29th.
Yay.
So you guys know the deal. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Non-Patreon donors only get 3 questions per Q&A. If you donate just $1, you get up to 5 questions. But really, if you're already donating to the Patreon, might I recommend donating at $3. This way you get your 5 Q&A questions and access to the TWitWoW Discord. Just one man's opinion.
By the way, are you aware of the fact that our last Q&A of the year is on the last day of the year? Yeah, dude.
Amazing.
The last Thursday in December is the 31st. Oh my god.
That's fucking wild.
It's amazing.
Guarantee you we'll get some cheeky questions like, something about 2021 or just whatever, looking back on the year or whatever. So it should be interesting. But we're still a little ways away from that. I can't believe, though, even on pandemic time, that we're already so far through 2020. That's kind of wild to think about.
That's the magic of pandemic time, dude. Every week feels like a month and a day simultaneously.
Oh, my God! Sorry, that was way too excited for what we were talking about. What the fuck?
What? It wasn't too excited. It was just like a weirdly inappropriate.
I know.
I was expecting more of like a devastated sound rather than like a happy, excited sound.
Yeah.
I was expecting more like, oh god, kill me, than oh yay.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, guys, you know how it all fucking works. Look, I'm old, okay? I'm not going to be doing the same goddamn retread every time.
Oh my god, Mark is already prepping us for one of his questions on the final day of the year for our final Q&A of 2020. How quickly will it take 2021 to become worse than 2020?
Hey Mark, no cutting in line, all right? Wait.
You know what? I'm gonna put that down right now. Let's see. September 2020. No. We're going all the way out. Here we go. Okay, there's September. Okay, let's change that to October. Right? Okay, and then let's go down even further. Okay, let's change this to November. Okay. One more. Okay, and now here's December, and the date is 9/24. Mark. Oh, that's not bold. There we go. Mark. Question for both. How quickly will it take 2021? Will it take 2021 to be worse than 2020? There we go. I've got your question taken down, Mark.
All right. There you go. Wow. So, yeah, you guys all know how it goes. Leave a like if you haven't already, although we have a 1-to-1 ratio right now, so fuck it. I guess you guys did your job before I even asked you to. Be sure to click the bell icon.
That's not because we have a lot of likes, though. It's just because people have bailed on us.
Yeah. I mean, these do go pretty long. I almost can't blame them. So be sure to click the bell icon and subscribe so you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. You can find all of TWitWoW's socials and everything we're involved in the description box and on the background that this beast over here made. And we'll most likely be seeing you guys tomorrow. I would think with it only being a 5-match card at 6, but we'll see what Stardom has to say about that. We're either going to be going live at 5 or 6 with the Stardom show. And then we'll be going live again at 10 for New Japan Strong, which is just going to be the Lions Crown tournament. And then at 11:30, it's going to be Clash of Champions preview and predictions. So tomorrow's going to be pretty stacked. And then Saturday, I'm guessing it's more G1, right?
Saturday's nothing, my friend. We have Saturday off.
Holy shit, that's beautiful.
I know. I'm so fucking happy about it.
But then Sunday, though, we get right back on the horse because
it is doubleheader.
And then Clash of Champions live reactions. Yep. Oh my lord!
And then Tuesday more G1, and then Wednesday more G1 and NXT, and then next Thursday is probably going to be Stardom.
Yeah, Yeah, Japanese wrestling going hard right now, but you know
Don't
what?
get me wrong, I love Stardom and I love watching Stardom shows, but every Stardom show that happens between now and the 10-3 show feels so insignificant.
Yeah. Dude, beginning of October, like NXT's flexing a return.
Yep.
Stardom's got like a fucking stacked card. G1's going to be having its finals, but that's more mid-October. October's showing out. It's like, fuck you guys.
There's a big TJPW show on October 3rd too, and that's going to actually be live, which actually it won't be the 3rd. It'll be Friday night at 11 p.m.
Is that one of the ones that we're covering per our agreement?
I wasn't planning on it, but if you look at the card and it looks good enough for us to react to, I would not object.
Cover me that month if we are going to do that. I don't know.
Oh,
Let's talk about it.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll see, guys. But all I know is what we have on our plate right now, it's already ridiculously stacked. I can't even really think about other content right now, honestly, because we've just been doing so much. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. 5 or 6 for Stardom. Again, I'm leaning towards 6 if it's only a 5-match card. 10
Is anything else up? Have you checked on Stardom World over the last few hours?
Not in the last few hours. No, let me look right now, actually.
I'm looking already, man. I got you covered. I'm here. Nope, it's 5th match and then the complete show tonight, overnight at some point.
Hopefully we'll be able to look at the overall timestamp before we break off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, actually, now that you mention it, I will go out of my way to tweet when we're going live tomorrow before I go to sleep tonight. How does that sound?
That sounds freaking fantastic to me, friend. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's essentially it. I'm going to hand it over to Ashton finally to take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly hope that you all enjoyed Q&A this month. If you did, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, all that fun stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch if you'd like to support the channel. Other ways to support the channel, you can buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling community. That's right, we are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the Y and TWCs, and we hope that you are all looking forward to all the content coming up. Just to run over it again real quick, we've got a triple header tomorrow, Stardom at 5 or 6, then New Japan Strong at 10, then our preview predictions for Clash of Champions after New Japan Strong. Nothing Saturday. And then on Sunday, we've got a double header of New Japan G1 Climax Day 5 and Clash of Champions. Next Tuesday, there's more New Japan. Next Wednesday, there's more G1, as well as NXT. Next Thursday is going to be probably a Stardom live reaction. And then next Friday, we've got another double header of G1 and New Japan Strong. So that is the remainder of the next 2 weeks, basically. We hope that you're all looking forward to it. And most importantly, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.